Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and welcome to the BoxHard Podcast.
Hello, everyone. This is Mikey Garcia.
This the monster from the swamps, Regis Rougarou Prograis.
Hey, what's up? This is King Carlos Molina, former IBF world champ.
This is Michael, the Bounty Hunter, 2012 Olympian and your people's champ.
This is Charlie Edwards, flyweight champion of the world.
This is Fast Eddie Chambers, and you're listening to the BoxHard Podcast with my main man, Joey Coastman.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 284 of the BoxHard Podcast. I'm your host Joey Coastman. I'm joined as ever by Mr. Fast Eddie Chambers. Eddie, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, my man. I'm just keeping busy and getting all the work in that I can.
Not that you really need any introduction on this show, but I actually forgot to say former heavyweight world title challenger. That's okay with you though, right? I'm playing.
It's not a problem, man. Sometimes it sucks to even be, bring that up because of the outcome of that fight. But at the end of the day, I don't mind it. I appreciate it.
Okay, I'm only playing. Anyway, getting on to the review part of the show, we're going to start here in India at the Majestic Pride ship. A big upset. Vijender Singh, he was a really good amateur. He was a Bollywood actor, a policeman in India, an absolute superstar, by the way. He got in against a guy called Artish Lopsan, who was 4-1 with a draw. And I'm not entirely sure what happened in the fight. I think Lopsan actually got dropped by Vijender Singh, but in the end, Lopsan ended up TKOing Vijender Singh in round 5. So he's now 12-1. And I have to say it was a little bit of a quit job in my eyes there for Vijender Singh. That could be the end. He's got to be about 34, something like that. Boy, oh boy. Absolutely shocking scenes there in India. Moving now to the Bolton Whites Hotel in Bolton. Over here, this was on the Friday, March 19th. Over here, just a couple fights to mention. Karim Guerfi, he was the EBU European Bantamweight champion, but now he's not. He had the title taken away very quickly in the first round. Lee McGregor, absolutely excellent performance from him. He had Guerfi down twice from body shots, and then the final knockdown, a left hook to the head. 3 times he was down on the deck there, Guerfi. What an impressive win there for Lee McGregor. Also on the undercard, Maxi Hughes, the man having an Indian summer. He's took 2020 into 2021 in terms of his momentum. He's now 23-5 with 2 draws. A TKO win for him in round 8 against Paul Hyland Jr., who's now 20-3. And Maxi Hughes now is the new British lightweight champion. So I'm really pleased for him. He deserves it. Moving out now to Russia. We're going to go here to the Ice Palace in Moscow. We're gonna. In fact, let me come with the undercard fights first, actually. I think just maybe one to mention, and that one will be that Igor McCulkin picked up a win, a 4th round TKO win against Denis Sayuk, I think it is, who's now 12-5. Expected there really from McCulkin, but the main event, Artur Beterbiev now 16-0 with 16 KOs. He continues that 100% KO streak against Adam. I've always thought his name was Adam Daines, but I think it's Adam Daines or something like that. He's now 19-2 with a draw. So Beterbiev still the IBF and WBC light heavyweight world champion. Daines, or whatever they called him, he was down in the very first round. It was an interesting fight. I actually had it a lot closer than the judges had it, you know. I think that Danes, I'm just going to call him Danes, he had a really good start to the fight. You know, he did get caught in that first round, like I say. He had his feet crossed, really, and there was only 10 seconds to go. He went down. It was a shame for him because he was having a great round. Round 2 and 3, again, I thought that he boxed really well. He wasn't freezing on the big stage. He seemed really confident in his performance. It was clever stuff. Everything was behind the jab. He was winning the rounds. Arthur was just putting pressure on Danes, really, with his feet. He wasn't, you know, he was throwing shots, but it wasn't like, you know, over the top with pressure. He didn't seem like he was panicked about, for me, losing the early few rounds. Round 4, Beterbiev did seem to wake up. He started to up the punch output. He landed some lovely shots, including a couple of big uppercuts and straight right hands to the body of Danes. And Danes was looking a little bit overwhelmed at that point. The mid-rounds, I'd say probably 5 and 6 were Beterbiev rounds. He wasn't really able to put a dent in Danes for me, but, you know, it was starting to get to the stage where I think he was probably realising this has gone longer than most of my fights, so I need to step on the gas a little bit if I want to continue that brilliant KO streak. Yeah, round 8, a round that I felt Danes was winning, and then, yeah, Beterbiev finished it really strongly. Danes showed a great chin, and then, yeah, like I say, the final round, round 10, yeah, down went Danes. It was, you know, it was quite a quick stoppage. It all seemed to come tumbling down really quickly. The corner had the towel in their hand ready to throw it in, and the referee decided to basically tell him to not do that. He waved it off anyway. Unbelievable performance from Danes, I felt. I was really impressed with him. I was starting to wonder, is Beterbiev just slightly slipping? Maybe. It did seem like probably from round 8 or 9, Beterbiev realised, like I say, you know, I need to get this guy out of there, and he had another gear that Danes didn't expect and couldn't really match. And yeah, the scorecards for me were very wide. I actually gave him quite a few rounds, Danes, but I wasn't scoring it strictly. But, you know, I was quite impressed with him, really. Beterbiev didn't look his old solid self, I don't think, but, you know, it was against a guy who I don't think he was probably overly motivated for. Moving out now to the Pabellón Municipal in Badia de Beyer in Catalonia, Spain. Over here, Jose Manuel Lopez Clavero. He was 13 and 14 with a draw. He's now 13 and 15 with a draw. Just one real quick fight. A points win there over 6 rounds for friend of the show, Brian the Lion Rose. He's now 32 and 6 with a draw. Former world title challenger. I think it was for the belt when he boxed Demetrius Andrade on late notice there. Moving out now to the Wembley Arena in London, United Kingdom. Going to start again with the undercard over here. Yeah, I'm going to start at the very bottom of the card, I guess. Ellie Scottney, a win for her. She's now 2-0, a points win over 6 rounds against Maylis Gangloff, who's 4-2 now. Ramla Ali with a points win over 6 against Beck Connolly. Ramla Ali now 2-0. Also on the card we had Anthony Fowler with a win. He's now 14-1. A KO for him in round 3 against Jorge Fortea. And Jorge Fortea is usually a tough and durable guy, but Fowler did really well there to get him out very early. It was for the WBA International Super Welterweight title. Fortea down twice in the third before the stoppage. Joe Cordina with a win, a majority decision, a close one in the end against Farouk Korbanov, who's now 17-3. Cordina 12-0. Korbanov, I think, was quite a good amateur, if I'm not mistaken, so I always thought that would be, you know, a fight that Joe Cordina would not necessarily struggle in, but I didn't think he'd be able to put this guy away with his amateur background, if I'm not getting him mistaken for someone else. But yeah, he marches on, Joe Cordina, the Welshman. Chris Billum-Smith as well with a win. He's now 12-1. A unanimous decision against Vasil Dukar. Again, the cards were quite wide, to be honest. Dukar was down in the 4th round and once in the 6th round. I think the cards were quite wide in that one. My memory seems to be all over the place at the minute. But anyway, good win for Chris Billum-Smith. One of my kind of I don't want to say favourite fighters because that's a lie, but he's a guy I like to watch, and he's a guy that I think can be involved in some really, really good fights at cruiserweight. That one was for the vacant WBA Continental Cruiserweight title, by the way. And the main event, Lawrence Sakio now 16-0, a KO in round 6 against Krzysztof Glowacki, the former WBO world champion, now 31-3. It was for the vacant WBO cruiserweight world title. Lawrence Sakio now a world champion in just 16 fights. That's the same amount of time as Anthony Joshua became IBF world champion after beating Charles Martin. Glowacki was cut as well over the right eye, I think it was, and yeah, he ended up getting knocked out in the end with a right hand. First round, Akoli was keeping Glowacki at range with the jab. Glowacki seemed to be a little bit lost at sea in the first round. The size difference as well was crazy, man. There's about 5 inches in it, and Glowacki was always kind of ducking down a lot as well, making Akoli punch downwards, which I think was working a little bit, but it made Glowacki look even smaller. So it was like, it was crazy. They didn't look like they were both in the same weight class. Round 2 and 3, pretty much the same stuff again. Round 4, the same kind of stuff. Akoli landed a few big right hands on Glowacki. He let him taste that power there. And Glowacki took the shots well, but I was starting to think it's a bit demoralizing for him because he just couldn't find a way in, wasn't really that creative, Glowacki. He took the shots well, like I say, but just wasn't having any success. He wasn't really able to get off with any of his own shots. Round 5, the same kind of stuff again, and then round 6, what a shot to end the fight. Totally one-sided, really. A genuine knockout. For me, it was better than Bradis's win over Glowacki because there was a lot of controversy there. It was a straight right hand, right on the chin, right on the button. Down went Glowacki. He did beat the count, but the referee waved it off. What can I say on the matter? I mean, I feel like Akoli's future is very bright. He's already talking about the big fights at cruiserweight. He's already looking to unify. And then I think he wants to move up to heavyweight. I think he said that if he ever went to heavyweight, he wouldn't fight Anthony Joshua because I think he said his mum would stop speaking to him or something like that. He's close with AJ, of course. And everyone that Akoli is beaten. This is what I like about when a guy goes and wins a world title or something like that, or does really well in a world title fight. If you're a guy that fought him and then he goes on to become a world champion, those people that he beat that have only lost just once, their losses all of a sudden in one night don't look as bad when you really think about it. So, for example, Isaac Chamberlain, he's got that one loss to Akoli. Akoli's now world champion. He's just beaten Glowacki. All of a sudden, Isaac Chamberlain, for me, is back in the game. I mean, I want to see him fight now, like more than I did, last week. So, yeah, man. Some people along the way have given Akoli quite decent tests. So those guys, those losses, they don't look as bad for every guy that lost to him now, I feel. But all the best to Akoli. He's a good fighter, man. Like I say, bright future. Not always the prettiest to watch. I don't really care about that. It's about getting the win. It's about getting the job done. And he did that. And he did that in a one-sided fashion. And I can't wait to see his next fight. If he's going to go as quick as he is saying he's going to go, then this is going to be one hell of a ride. He's already calling out Maris Bradis. Unbelievable. Moving out now to, we're going to go here now to the Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas, USA. Over here, this is the final card to mention. 2 fights to mention. Annabelle Ortiz, I'm going to start with her. She was on the undercard. I don't think she'd lost a fight for about 9 years. She was defending her WBA female minimum weight world title. She was 31-3. She got in there with Sinisa Estrada, who's now 20-0. Estrada was able to win a unanimous decision over 10 2-minute rounds. Ortiz, the champion, was down as well in the first round. It was very wide in the end for Estrada. I really like her attitude as well. They interviewed her, just after the fight, like a post-fight interview, and her mindset and everything like that is really interesting. She seems very humble. She seems like a very positive character, and I like that for women's boxing especially. So I hope that she has a great run. Like I say, 20-0. She can punch as well. She's one of the kind of more, I guess, bigger punching females, so it's always good to see her fight. And yeah, very impressive. She's now a world champion. All the best to her. And the main event, Virgil Ortiz Jr., now 17-0. And again, like Beterbiev, he kept that 100% knockout ratio intact. A 7th round TKO against Maurice Hooker, the former 140 world champion. Maurice Hooker now 27-2 with 3 draws. It was for the vacant WBO international welterweight title. Bizarre tactics for Hooker in my eyes. He came out firing with Ortiz. I don't actually think that was the game plan, but strangely enough, it seemed to work. I'm going to go through the rounds here. The first round, a great round. A little bit, dare I say, Hagler-Hearns style. I mean, I was wondering if they heard those 10 bells from their dressing rooms, because they played the 10 bells for Marvelous Marvin just before they walked out there. And I'm wondering, did that make them fight like he did against Tommy Hearns? I don't know. But brilliant start to the fight. Like I say, Hooker wasn't boxing at range. He was staying in the pocket. He was mixing it up with Ortiz. It was a really good round. Ortiz looked strong, but Hooker just wasn't phased or outclassed. And Ortiz, he just looked heavier-handed to me. It was a great round. Round 2, another brilliant round. Such a fast-paced fight as well at that point. Very interesting to see at that point who was going to gas first, because it was so... such a highly paced fight that I wanted to see what's Ortiz going to look like a bit later on if it got to that stage, Round 3, another excellent round. Hooker's output and speed was almost making Ortiz be a little bit overcautious, which, again, I like to see because I want to see how he answers these questions. And he was just a little bit reluctant about opening up, I felt, Ortiz in round 3. Round 4... Hooker caught Ortiz with a big shot in that 4th. It was a right hand. Ortiz was being made to think. Like I say, it was the first time really he had to face adversity, and Ortiz was starting to mark up as well around the eyes. Again, I just thought that the tactics were bizarre from Hooker. It was almost a little bit suicidal, but yeah, I liked it. It was working. It was interesting. It made for a fantastic fight. Round 5, a better round for Ortiz. I was starting to wonder, is he starting to put a dent in the very courageous Hooker? Hooker seemed to get hurt with 2 body shots as well in that round, and once again, I was starting to think this is looking like another contender already for fight of the year, especially after Chocolatito and Estrada 7 days previous. We were being spoiled, I thought. Round 6, a brilliant round. Hooker opted to stand off a little bit and use his reach to try and box Ortiz. However, Ortiz did catch Hooker, and down Hooker went. He got back up. He opted to slug as well with Ortiz. He got through the round. Round 7, the final round, Hooker came out firing. He got caught with a big right hand and he was dropped down to his knee. And yeah, the fight ended right there. He didn't beat the count. Ortiz Jr. continues that streak. He's never been past round 7. He didn't go past it here as well. And credit to Hooker, like I say, for coming to fight with those crazy tactics. Ortiz did pull through. He answered a few questions. It was a big learning fight. He's got such an exciting future. And for me, Hooker can still come again, I think. I'd like to see Hooker fight someone like Danny Garcia. I think he could possibly beat Garcia. I also give Hooker, and I hate to say it, but I give him a big chance against someone like Kell Brook. And maybe even someone like a Yordenis Ugas at a push, but I'm not sure about that one. As for Ortiz, I'd love to see him box a few guys now, man. I'd like to see him not jump straight in with Crawford like he said afterwards. He said, I'm ready for Crawford right now. I'd like to see him in with someone like a David Avanesian. That'd be a real firefight. I'd like to see him in with a Danny Garcia. I think he could probably beat him. I'd like to see him in with a Jesse Vargas. That'd be a good fight. And I wouldn't mind Igis Kavalauskas, and I wouldn't mind Adrian Broner. So any of those I'd love. There's a lot of options for Ortiz. He doesn't need to rush things. I think he's still only about 22 years of age. But yeah, good fight all in all. And Hooker, when they were booing him, he had some choice words for the crowd, which I think were actually, I think he was in the right, in his right for saying that. The crowd were booing him after putting on such a gutsy performance. It's since been revealed that he broke his hand, I believe. I can't remember which hand it was now, but yeah, all the best to him. Hopefully he recovers quickly from that. So all the best to him, friend of the show. He was on a couple weeks ago. That is it, though, for the review part of the show. Just before we wrap that up, I just want to see if there's anything else that we have to go over quickly, because I think there is. I'm gonna probably get onto it in the second part of the show, Eddie. But there is, I'm just letting you know, a quiz question. Someone sent in a quiz question for you, so get ready for that in part 2. But anyway, that's it for. Sorry, Eddie, go on.
No, I said, uh-oh. Just preparing mentally.
Okay, well, here we have it. That is part 1 done. The final thing to do just before we wrap it up is to welcome our sole guest on this week's podcast. We've tried to go through things very quickly, and that's because this interview is very lengthy, with the former WBC Super-Middleweight World Champion, Mr. Sakio Bika. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBC Super-Middleweight World Champion. It is, of course, Mr. Sakio Bika. Sakio, welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you to have me, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me, Sakio. So I want to start the interview just with a brief, kind of straightforward question. Where did your boxing journey begin? What's the earliest memory you've got of perhaps ever putting on a pair of gloves?
When I was, my memory when I was young, I always dreamed to become, the world champion. And then back home, when I was growing up, I was used to see all these big fights like Terry Norris, like Evander Holyfield, Mark Dawson. I want to become like them. I always feel like, this was me, growing up, and one day maybe I had to become world champion. And that was, I was always try to train very hard to keep myself very positive and then to achieve my goal. And then today I was world champion, and for me, I just feel like, this is the time to me again to try to show the world, Sakio is back, in the hard stage.
And obviously you represented Cameroon at the Olympic Games in 2000 in Sydney. Was that the best moment of your amateur career, Sakio?
Of course, represent Cameroon in 2000 Olympic. It was one of my best, moment in my life, because to qualify for the Olympics is not easy. And then we coming from Africa, it's always very, very hard to qualify for the Olympics. You have to become a Cameroon national champion. You have to become the African champion to qualify. It's just very, very difficult. For me, it was one of the best memories for my life to represent my Cameroon on the Olympics.
No, and that was a great achievement. Getting on to your pro career, Sakio, I'm going to start just briefly with your debut. Actually, you made your debut December 15th, 2000 in Sydney. You boxed a guy who was 3-0. The fight ended though in round 4 when your opponent got disqualified. What happened there, man?
You bring my memory back. That was a very long time. I remember my first fight. Technically, it was, I don't know what happened, or, remember when my first fight professional, the guy had a great fight, and then I fought him, and then I really don't know what has happened again. It was one of the best moments of my life, to start professional, being happy to turn professional after the 2000 Olympics. For me, it was just, Sakio ready to become a professional. For me, was my first fight professional. I couldn't remember what happened for that fight. And then the more important for me was I won the fight, and I was just very happy. My first fight, first victory, and I was just happy. I enjoyed myself, and then I was just happy to say this first fight, winning for your first professional fight, was one of the best moments again of my life.
Yeah, and like I say, it was quite a long time ago now. That's fine. You managed to get to 10-0 with 7 KOs before boxing the eventual IBF middleweight world champion Sam Soliman. The date for this fight was October 15th, 2002. You boxed him at the time for the IBF Pan-Pacific middleweight title. It was the first time in your career you'd ever gone past 6 rounds. The fight ended after 12 rounds in a majority decision for Sam Soliman. Tell us about that night that you lost your undefeated record early on in your pro career, man.
Yeah, that's what, I was very, very, that was very hard to you again. Bringing that story back, it was one of the worst worst thing for my life, getting from Sydney to Melbourne, fighting Sam Soliman in your hometown in Melbourne. It was very, every people that was in the fight, Jeffrey was my manager, was my trainer, and then people that were very, very, very disappointed again. I can't, because sometimes when you always, have the negativity, say you get robbed, you get ripped off, you get, then rip you off, people that always think that you complain too much. For me, I don't have to complain. Someone, it was very embarrassing because I know it was for my 10 professional fight, and Sam have so many professional fight before me, and it was very fit, very awkward fighter, and then I keep them a distance, I box him, I show the people again, around Sydney, Australia, I was a better man than that, man. Again, it didn't go the way I was supposed to go because it was for the hometown for Sam Soliman. And then get to you, say you won the fight, and then people, come to me and say, Sakio, you are the best boxer, you won the fight again. You are just unlucky because you fought Sam and your hometown. And again, I always say, for me to complain, I don't like to complain anymore. It was one of my defeat fights, I enjoy it, I learn about that, and I'm going to make the next fight better for myself again. It's always boxing. Boxing, you have up and down. It was my first loss and professional and 10 fight, no loss. This was my first fight loss, get beat by 10. It was just, I always have to say, it was the count off. You learn about the mistake and you try to make sure that the next time you can win the fight.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, do you think that loss, which obviously you think was a win, and you're right to think because it was very close, I was going to ask if that loss turned you into a better fighter, but I think it definitely did, so I'm not even going to bother asking it. Your very next fight was 2 months later, December 20th, 2002. You fight in Indonesia. You box a guy. The fight ends due to a head clash. It was ruled a technical draw after 3 rounds. That must have been frustrating. I know it's a long time ago now, but do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that one too. Yes, I went to. This was my first professional fight overseas.
Yeah.
And then we had this phone call with my manager. Was managed me. His name was used to be Angelo Harda. He said you have a big fight. You have some fight, overseas from Indonesia. Do you take the fight? I said, man, I will take the fight anywhere in the world. For me, where I'm coming from, you don't have to choose where. Then present you with the fight. And that fight, I went to Indonesia in Bali, and I fought this guy, and then we had a head crash, and then the fight ended up draw again. It wasn't disappointing. It always, kind of change, it happened in boxing, and then it was just, it was bad and good, man. In the meantime, it wasn't very bad because getting the draw there with the head bad step, I was winning them. So it was draw. It wasn't a bad achievement because I went there, I didn't get beat. Then again, it was draw. And then I learned again about, the first fight overseas, like professional. For me, it was just, okay, I didn't have the win, now I have the draw. Where can I go next? After I have a draw for my first professional fight overseas. That was just, again, for me, the positive man and the positive attitude to make you start working very hard to try to achieve sometimes to become a world champion. And that was, for me, was just all a step zone to become who I am today.
And in 2003, you come back to Australia, you go unbeaten for your next 7 fights. This brings us to October 2004. You travel to Japan, you box Yoshishiro Araki, you knock him out in round 10, you go back to Australia, you knock out Juan Downing, then you go back to Japan and you knock out Araki again. Why did he want you to knock him out twice?
Oh, yeah, because they feel I say, yeah. Japanese, Japanese I was feel, the manager was feel I say, maybe me knocking up in the round 10, it was feel I say maybe he's supposed to win it because they were looking that far to go in the distance, maybe to get that to him, and then say maybe it's the best time again to bring Sakio back, and then we can try to beat him to defend the OPPF. And for me, how I always say, when they offer me to fight, to go anywhere, I never said no, or this guy, or get scared. I just, okay, let's go. Let's go show the people in Japan, say, no. If I know you happen in 10 round, maybe next time, maybe I will try to know, or maybe earlier. And then we went there, then with me, it's not about go there and try to knock people out. You just go there, try to win every single round. The way I always train. Go there, make sure, say, you are prepared very, very good. I prepare for 10 rounds or 12 rounds. Just making sure, say, every single round I need to win it. If I can win every single round, and then if you have the opportunity to hold him, and I will go for knockout, I will do it. And that was happened. Prepare that fight for very hard training to go to Japan. I was just, Japanese people, they're not them very tough, very strong. They like to win, and then the Japanese crowd they love them boxing. They love boxing. And me go there then the second time I was just go there trying to make sure, say, oh, if this time I know this ground is 10 round, maybe now he's prepared very well. He went to America for training camp and he's back. Maybe he's very focused to beat me to take back the OPPF back belt for myself. I just said this time maybe I need to prepare to very well. And I went there because I was more prepared than him. I didn't go overseas. I prepared in Australia. I didn't go to America. I didn't go anywhere. I prepared to Australia and go there and taking care of my business and knock it out. And then that night, when I beat him, and it's not a joke. The referee who went to the restaurant after 2 hours, the referee passed away. That's not a joke. The referee for that night after 2 hours after the fight, he went to sit. He was eating. He have heart attack. Fell down, passed away. That's not a joke.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's not a joke. If you went back for the second fight in Japan and the video on the YouTube, you see the referee after two hours, he went to the restaurant. He had something to eat. He had heart attack, but it was over. Passed away. Man, again, it's not a joke. Man, again, I don't want to say that it was very bad, very sad when we heard the news. For me, I wasn't so happy. Everyone wasn't so happy again. To see someone just pass away like that. He just referee my fight, and then it was very good, very happy. And then after 2 hours, he passed away. It was very bad. And again, it's life. We can't change sometimes kingdom.
Yeah, and that's terrible. I didn't know that. That's it's interesting, but it is terrible.
Yeah.
After that second fight, obviously that's when you get the chance to box for your first world title, the WBC Super-Middleweight world title. Exactly. The champion at the time, Marcus Beyer. You were winning the fight by shutout on one of the scorecards, and the other two scorecards, both judges had it a draw after only 4 rounds when the fight came to a premature end due to a clash of heads. The fight ends in a technical draw. You had to travel all the way to Germany for that fight, May 13th, 2006. Tell me about that one, Sakio.
Well, that one, it was again shocking. Very, very shocked. It was one of the moments on time you decided, what is happening for myself? What is happening? What is going on? Why after 4 rounds, this fight couldn't go away? And then it was just the kind of fight on time. You go, you prepare, you're happy, you have this opportunity for fight market buyers in Germany and your hometown. And then for me, nobody knew. People that knew me a little bit, people that know me, the way I was built, the way I was trained. I always train, I always prepare, I always ready to go and rumble, to go and show the people in the world, when everywhere I can go, I don't care exactly where in the world. I will just go there and handle my business. I went to Germany to fight market buyer. It was one of the terrible nights for myself because the referee that time was Joe Cortez. I remember again, Joe Cortez, after the 4 rounds, I was beating market buyer every single round. The first round, second round, third round. And the 4 round we have, because it's Sapol, head crash. And then the cut was under the eye. And Joe Cortez said, no, the fat is under the eye. This fat, it can continue, it can go ahead. And then because the people in Germany, they knew that I was very strong, market buyers couldn't do nothing. I was very strong than him. And when they see the opportunity, they just say, then went over there, then start and speak with them language, whatever, and then say, look, we can't let this fight go away. We can't let this fight continue to go. We need to stop because it was a 4 round. And then I don't know what happened behind there. Was maybe around 35 minutes, 30 minutes to get the judge, and then come back and say was technical draw. And then Joe Cortez say, look, we speak to it. Joe Cortez say this cut was under the eye. This part was supposed to go to the head. Man, again, Joe Cortez wasn't the doctor for the night, The medical people, they had to decide, or the doctor had to decide, say this have to go the way or we have to stop. And the musical man, because I was behind with the promoter, that time, the promoter, I can't remember his name, and just say, no, this fight can't go ahead. If you go ahead, Sakio will take this belt from Marcus Beyer. And then for me, it was again a sad moment. And so it was technical draw. And when they had some technical draw, they had to give me a rematch. And then they couldn't give me the rematch because they knew I was just too strong for Marcus Beyer. And then this was again one of the opportunity, blew from my hand. WBC went away again. Again, it was when I come home, when I flew back to Australia, I went back, I remind myself, just thinking about what exactly, what just in the 4 round, we have this process, what it couldn't go in the 5th round, what on the 7th round, what just in 4 rounds, and I couldn't get the answer, and people then just said to me, Sakio, look, things happen, it happened, and the ref was behind you, he wanted this fight to go ahead. All the judges, all the referee, all the people in Germany, they couldn't leave this fight to go ahead again. In the meantime, it was just, they couldn't say bad luck. They was just say things happen for a reason. You just have to breathe in and breathe out. Keep working very hard, and one day, maybe you become a world champion. You never know. And then this was just, again, aura, bird just blew up on my hand and go away. Again, it was just one of the moment of my life, fighting for the world title again. I never had the chance to get that world title again. Second time again, maybe you don't know. Did you know that Marcus Beyer passed away too? He passed away maybe 1 year ago. And
wow.
pay for it. Did you know about that or no?
No, I actually didn't. 2 years ago, I see.
Okay. Yeah, no, 1 year ago, maybe 1 year ago, yeah. Some people then call me after 1 year ago, and say, oh, Sakio, do you know people from, they say, do you know your opponent Marcus Beyer passed away? I say, you sure? I say, yeah, I'm sure. They say, you sure? I say, you sure? Said, again, I know how to say things about people passing whatever. It was just one of the star moments for my life again. That bird just flew from my hand again. Yeah.
No, man, but the fight itself, yeah, you're right. Why didn't it happen in round 6? Why didn't it happen in round 7? Sauerland was the promoter at the time.
Exactly, Sutherland. I was trying to get that name. Yes, Sutherland. Yeah, it was him. I couldn't get that name. Thank you. It was him. He said, no, we can't give the chance for this guy. This guy's too strong. If you give it a chance, that this bird is going. Just say, look, we need to stop this fight, and then say it was technical draw.
Dirty tactics, but yeah, you probably would have gone on to win that fight, and to have the fight stopped because of a head clash, is a bitter pill to swallow. But it didn't take you long to get another shot at a world title. 5 months later, you're in the UK in Manchester, in the opposite corner to the reigning WBO and IBF Super-Middleweight world champion Joe Calzaghe. The fight would end in a unanimous decision for Joe Calzaghe. Tell us about that night in your own words, Sakio.
Oh, that one again is a cracker. It's a very cracker fight. This is one of the, when I always say for people, when they have the opportunity, you never say no. Because before I have the phone call from one of my managers that you said to me, Sakio, you have the big fight with Joe Calzaghe. Again, I was in the U.S. for this tournament, and then I hurt my elbow. And I have this operation for my elbow, and then I get a phone call, say, you're fighting, did you want to take this opportunity to fight Joe Calzaghe? I said, man, I will take it. And then I have the operation, and then I get the phone call. And I was training again, short, I don't have to go for so much long. And then to me, to fight Joe Calzaghe, you see, it was one of the greatest. I can't say he wasn't. He's one of the greatest super middleweight of time. One of the greatest because I have so many. Undefeated, retire undefeated. Is a guy. Sometimes you need to take my heart from. Big respect for Joe Calzaghe. Giving you the respect, it doesn't mean, Joe Calzaghe being again it was, again he said, Sakio was one of the toughest fights. Again, he said sometimes I was very, very dirty. I never been dirty for nobody. It's just because I was just too strong for him and he couldn't know exactly. And then you listen maybe around 8 rounds, he said for his father, what can I do? What can I do now? This guy, his father just said, go and box because he didn't know exactly. He didn't know exactly what to do because I was, I was on top of him, pushing back, try to hit him. I always say, that fight was very, very good fight for me. For Joe Calzaghe, it was around maybe 25 or 20,000 people watching that fight on UK. And then Joe Calzaghe said, never give me no room. I said I was too strong for him. And for your interview, he said for everyone, say, I was just too strong. And then for me, fighting Joe Calzaghe was just the dream come true to fight one of the greatest fighters for all time. I don't have to say it wasn't easy. To me, to go there, tell her, then could they say the fight was draw or maybe I beat him. I always think maybe I beat Joe Calzaghe. Again, you never, say if you beat somebody and Joe Calzaghe won, you can't say you beat him. Joe Calzaghe won the fight. But for me, I was very pleased to fight one of the best fights of all time in super middleweight because for me, it's a pleasure to be in the ring with Joe Calzaghe. It's not because I said I beat him. It was maybe one of the pleasure for me to be with him. And then maybe tomorrow, say if I retire tomorrow, if a young kid want to go for the internet is all Sakio, who do you fight? You follow many best fighters. One of Joe Calzaghe, this, blah, blah, blah. For me, it was just a pleasure to fight him again. It can always be one of, we never talk, maybe if I see him, we will always be maybe one of the friends or one of the greatest. And for me, it was just, I don't know exactly what to say. It was just, it didn't happen the way it's supposed to happen to me to win the fight. And then it was the first time Joe Calzaghe was fighting for HBO. And were looking to look good. But it didn't look good because, because they never knew exactly who they was bringing to UK to fight him because they were thinking they were supposed to be an easy opponent. I never been easy for nobody. And then after the fight, Joe Calzaghe said, well, bastard, he was so for all day because, he couldn't handle the pressure I put for him. And for me, again, I said to just want the pleasure to fight him again. He always say for everyone, say, I was one of the toughest. May he have to change sometimes the war. When he wants to start, I was one of the tough. He says, Sakio tough, but it wasn't dirty. That will have to say for the people. If he needs to say for the people about me, he needs to say for the people. Because Sakio is always, it was very, very tough. It wasn't dirty. That it will be more respect because I respect you. When you need to talk to me, you need to talk to her with the respect. Say, Sakio, one of the tougher fights. It wasn't dirty, it was just very tough. Now, I won the fight because, I always prepare to win the fight. I always say for people, when I'm going to the fight, I'm not coming to be in the dirt. I just go there to try to break my opponent down, to win the fight. And then that day, I was just trying to break it down, to try to make it sure, say, I'm here, I'm strong, I'm training hard, I will take that belt. But I never have the chance to take that belt again. I always say, it's always bouncing. At the end of the day, one person have to win. And Calzaghe was a winner, and I was a loser. And we just have to move on again to see exactly for the next one.
Yeah, and like you said, you're 100% right. You've never been easy for anyone. Like, I don't care who it is. You've always been a nightmare. After that, you come back to Australia, you get 2 wins, then you travel to Canada and box Lucian Bute, June 15th, 2007. This is an eliminator for the IBF title. Tell me about this one, Sakio, in Canada.
Oh man, no, that is good. That's good. Oh, again. Many stories, many good stories, many bad ones. Again, going to Canada, fighting Lucian Bute for the IBF eliminator. It was again, oh, man, it was so happy to go to Canada to fight Sam Bute. I said, oh, this guy, I can beat him. To fight for the IBF, it was just easy. I will demolish this guy. I went there, I always say to people, I went there, before I went to Canada, maybe it was just, again, some other scenario, say, oh, this is the best opportunity, fighting for the IBF, and the champion for the IBF that time, it wasn't like very good, and then it was very, like, average fighter, It was one black guy, I can't remember her name, fighting Usain Bute was just, oh, wow, I get this opportunity, I don't know, Usain Bute well, man, is a sample, I fought so many samples, I fought Beyer was sample, I fought Joe Calzaghe sample, I fought so many, maybe some other people, I was Spanish sample, it would be maybe easy work yet. I went to Canada, how I always tell people, fighting people in the background, where I'm coming from Africa, living in Australia. I'm not Australian, I'm just African Australian. Raised in Australia, grew up in Australia. Man. When people that always see me, they never present me like with the respect with Sakio live in Australia, Sakio Australian. Sakio, yeah, it's coming from Africa, from Cameroon, man, it's Australia. It represents Australia. They always take me like Africa, like the second class. I went to Canada, how is I say to you, beating the same Bute, win the first round, win the second round, win. I was winning 6 rounds before the same Bute start winning the 7th round. And then the referee was Canadian. He was always push me, do things there, And the end after that fight, them say Lucien Bute beat me on point. I don't know how. If you win again, you rewind the step back. You see Sakio Bika versus Lucien Bute. The first 6 rounds, I was winning. The first 6 rounds, I was winning. And I don't know how you win the first 6 rounds and the other 6 rounds left, and then you lose the fight. I don't know what happened. How then say Lucien Bute won the fight. I always say to you, my friend, with me, like, the way people judge me, the way people look at me, sometimes they look me, they're not there to give me the opportunity. They just look me to try to bring me down. Go to Canada, lose with Lucien Bute again. It was one of the very, very, again, I always say maybe because I never had no chance to get a good manager because I always have the phone call. I always, people when they're looking for the opponent and they ask me, sir, could you want to go? I just say, hey, I don't give a shit. I will go there because with me, I never have no time off, to take it. I have a little bit time off. I always train. If I not do box and play soccer, if I not play soccer, maybe I'm running. If I not do running, I do like weight. If I not do weight, maybe I'm walking. If I not do weight, I do something. I always do things. And to me, lose with Lucien Bute, it was again one of the worst, like, bad feeling. Maybe maybe because I not have a good manager, I just go there like opponent. I not go there like to people to respect me. Because when I go there, I just have my trainer, and the guy was handled like the guy used to be my manager. He wasn't like it was just the people sometimes. Then they just. When they get a phone call, say, Sakio, do you want to take this fight? I get the fight from you. It wasn't like the kind of the top manager, they had to look after them fight, to try to respect. When you go for somewhere, they know the judges, they know exactly what to do. For me, my case was just there. When they had the phone call, they can call me, say, Sakio, do you want to take this fight? I say, well, look, I don't care where he is. Let's go. If the money is good, let's go do it. And then for me, fighting Lucien Bute was just, again, one of the worst things. Winning the first 6th round and then lose the fight on point. Again, I always say, it's not time for complaint. It's bad. We just have to move forward and then look for the next one. It was very bad. I learned again my lesson, and then, yeah.
And also, that referee you mentioned, he kept pushing you back. He's actually dead now as well. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I don't know that.
Okay, yeah, he died. He was only 51. I think he died 3 years back now. So, crazy,
wow.
Crazy. Anyways,
crazy.
After that fight, that's when you do get a big opportunity. You sign up to take part in the Contender. You beat Donnie McCrary in the first fight. You go to the semi-finals. You get your chance at revenge against Sam Soliman, who of course you had the fight with 5 years earlier. This time you beat him unanimously over 8 rounds. Did you enjoy that revenge? I know you did.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, sorry.
You can say what you want. No, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, just fuck yeah. When I said I'm not supposed to say, I don't like to swear. Yes, I say, yeah, fuck yes. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. So that was one of the, again, being in the Contender sometimes, with Sam, in the Contender, if I think you watch it, they had so many people that were very loud in the Contender, and then I was just one of the easy, cool. I don't like to speak too loud. I just watching people going, and Sam Soliman was one of the louder one who used to, show off. And then my first fight when I fought Donnie McCrary, Donnie, and Sam Soliman was training. Sam Soliman wanted to beat me, and Sam Soliman didn't want me, to be there. I was just looking at them and laugh. And then train Donnie, show you, he said, I beat Sakio before, it would be an easy fight for you. We beat Sakio, Sakio is now body. And then when I beat him, and I had to fight Sam in the semi-final. And then Sam, to me beating Sam, it was just to try to show Sam, say, look, sometimes about talking and to try to show off. It's just about how can you prepare, and your mind and your heart. And for me, beating Sam just to show, say, look, still when we fought in Melbourne, you didn't beat me. I beat you in Melbourne. You were just lucky. You were just in your hometown in Melbourne. Now from Sydney, we couldn't get the judge because it was for you, all your people there, and beating you in the state for the big show on the Contender. It was one of the best moments for me in my life. People watching that around the world were one of the best shows. In 2007, to me, beating Sam in the Contender for me again, it was just try to show for people again, say, when, I always well, just try to show for people, say, look, I'm the man for the show. And then beating Sam for me, it was again just like, I don't know, I don't have no words. I was just very happy because this was like one of the rematch to me beating him because he couldn't give me no more rematch. Then he couldn't want to fight me. This was just the best opportunity for me for the Contender fighting Sam in the semi-final because again, to me when I beat him, I was just very happy because the way he was acting in the in the heart, the way he was acting in the show, the way he was presenting himself, like he was like he knew so many. He can train people. He can give them the advice, how to beat someone. If you want to give advice for some young kids or for some people, for some person how to beat the other guy, you have to crow and cry. If you give them the advice and they can't do it, and then you have to show him how to beat me because he was giving Donnie McCrary the advice how to beat me. And then the semi-final, he is supposed to beat me, but he couldn't. And I beat him. For me, was just, I was just so happy to show, say, look, maybe it's not hard to speak too much, maybe not need, because for me, one thing I can't talk too much, maybe the thing I can say to him, say my face, he can talk, because I know how to hit people, and I know how to train very hard, and when I want to hit you, I don't need to talk, then my face, he can tell you, say, okay, when you get hit, he will tell you, say, this guy, maybe you can't talk to him very loud. If you want to talk to him very hard, maybe you have to go to the gym and train yourself very, very hard and to come to talk to this guy. And for me, when I defeat Sam Soliman in the Contender, for me was just to show, say, not about talking on the back of people. It's about going to the gym, train hard, prepare, and your face can make all the talk. And then for me, I would just always say for something, my face make all the talk. It wasn't about talking loud, try to impress people, say you know how to talk, or you know how to speak, or you know how to attract people. It's not about we're there. It's boxing. Boxing is not the comedy show. Boxing is not about go do the comedy or go and and become a movie star. Boxing is about go in the ring and perform. It's not about go behind the ring and try to make sure that you can make people laugh. Boxing is not about laughing. You don't play with boxing. That was I said to something. You can't play with boxing. To me, beating him Sam was one of the best moments again for me myself.
And you go into the final, you beat Jaden Codrington, despite both of you going down in the first round. So you win the Contender. Had you ever been to America prior to the Contender? And also, how did it feel to win it, to win the show?
Oh, for me to win the show, for me to win that show with, being close to Sugar Ray, Sugar Ray, De La Hoya, or the other winner, the Contender, to me, to win that show was one of the best moments again of my life. It wasn't about the money, it was about the winning that show, because the Contender is opening me so much opportunity. It didn't give me so much opportunity because I was having contract there. I couldn't have a big fight. Winning the Contender for me, it was one of the best moments again of my life. And then the final with me with Jaden Carrington, I don't know how to say, I don't know how I survived that first round, because I always say for people that always ask me, Sakio, how did you survive that first round? I always say to people, when you have that heart coming from Africa, or that heart, that kind of heart I had is about the management and the train, because when you train hard and then you know where you're coming from, that is growing me to win this Contender, because getting that left hook when Jaden Carrington hit me that left hook, because when I knocked Jaden out in the first round, it wasn't a very big punch in knocking out. And when he knocked me out in that first one, my foot was gone. I don't know how I survived that first round. And for me, people that always ask me, I say, yeah, I'm tough, man, because, and you have to know where you're coming from. Do you want to win it? Do you want to train hard? Do you want to... For me, again, how I always say, maybe I don't have to put too much negative and positive. For me, it was just one of the best moments winning the Contender, because I knew that show was many people that were watching. To me, to win that again was one of the best fights in 2007. It was one of the best fights ever in 2007. I remember after winning the Contender, people that were ringing me in America said, Sakio, every single day, ESPN show you fight on ESPN, the final on the Contender. Shooting now is one of the best fight you ever see. It's a fight you can go every single day and play and see that on YouTube. You can't get bored. It's a kind of fight you never get bored. It was one of the, like, every time when I see myself, or when people then see me sometimes, they always say, oh, you are the guy for the Contender, so one of the people. I always say yes and say, man, you have one of the best fights ever in the Contender. For me, it always makes me feel so happy. And for me, myself, I'm saying to you, I saw my fight on sometime in YouTube, and my place, the Contender, I never get bored. When I put it, because the way people they speak, the way the commentary, the way people they speak, and the way we was, me and Jaden Carrington was just toe to toe. The first one when I stopped him, that was for me. I always feel I say, putting that show very high, winning the Contender again, making sure say this was one of the best fights ever. Because when you put my fight and put any fight like world title, people can always say, oh, shit, the Contender, man, I can't get bored with that fight. Because if you said, now, if you tomorrow you go, you find a tape for the Contender final, you put that there. When the first one starts, you don't want to go back to the toilet. You don't want to go, maybe if it's someone calling you, you just say, you test it back, I will call you back, because it was one of the best memories for my life. I was just very happy to win the Contender. Yeah.
And it was a fight that took place in the final as well, which made it even better. Your career just had so many ups and downs. So after winning the Contender. You put together a 3-fight win streak. You knocked out all 3 guys. Then you get the Jean-Paul Mendy fight, an IBF eliminator again. This time, you're disqualified in the first round in Las Vegas. Sakio, man, you hit him when he was down.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was fun. It was good.
You got too excited. You got too excited.
Yeah, very too excited. I don't know exactly all. Sometimes when I see myself or after the ring, I just let I don't have to say that maybe people that know me that also this guy very generous, that guy is very easygoing. And then in the ring sometimes I just will be crazy. I don't know where maybe I have so much energy. I don't know where that energy is coming from. Me fighting Jean-Paul Mendy, this guy coming from Europe, from France, for the Eliminata birth. Again, that time I was very lucky. That was maybe my first fight with Herman. If I remember, my manager from America, Herman. And then gave me this big opportunity to fight for the IBF Eliminata, to fight Jean-Paul Mendy. And then I hit him in the first round. It was gone. It was gone. Man, I didn't see him back kneeing. This is the first time ever I see people rewind the tape on the back and show the referee say Sakio hit this guy when his knee was touching the floor. I never seen nothing before like that. I was in the ring maybe for nearly 5 minutes. Because after when I knocked it out, then rewind the tape back to try to do the replay how Sakio was hitting this guy when his knee, because it was gone. When I hit him, it was gone. Man, I didn't see the back knee touching the canvas, and I hit him with uppercut. I knocked it out cold, and then I was disqualified. It was one of, again, I said to you again, my friend, it was one of the sad moments again in my life. I didn't know exactly what was happening for me. Easy fight, easy win to become an IBF world title, to fight with the same Bute for rematch. I never have that chance. I get disqualified, and then it was maybe again very bad, very sad. I couldn't explain. I couldn't. It was just very hard. But the best thing with that, the very, very good thing with that, after that fight, I went to my dressing room, and I heard him come to my dressing room. He said, "Sakio, look, it was unlucky. May no need to worry. It was him with De La Hoya." They say with De La Hoya, with Richard Schaefer, there was 3 of them. Herman, De La Hoya, and Richard Schaefer, then come in my dressing room and say for me, Sakio, you don't need to worry. If accidents happen, and Herman say, you don't need to worry. Just go back, train, and then we can get you some other opportunity. And then you'll know what happened after that.
Yeah, of course. Only 4 months later, you're back in America. You invade America again. Oakland, California, for the WBA Super-Middleweight world title against the undefeated Andre Ward. Again, you go 12 rounds. Tell us about that one, man. Andre Ward was a good fighter, man.
Oh, with that fight with Andre Ward, it was always, and Andre Ward knew that same now. Andre Ward can always say that. I know I scared. Andre Ward knew it was just very lucky to win that fight. Andre Ward was caring for me. When he see me stepping and win, it was scaring, because getting for me to get that fight with Andre Ward, it was for the tournament from the Super 6. Again, I need to win the step back again. It was on the Super 6. Again, the Super 6, it wasn't like about all the people like on the contender choosing some all the best super middleweight. It was just about Europe and America, because I was one of the best super middleweight on that time. Nobody couldn't challenge me. Sitting now, nobody ever challenged me. And that time, to me, I was one of the best super middleweight for they were looking for the Super 6. The Super 6, I was one of the best super middleweight. I supposed to be in the Super 6. Man, I never get chosen. Because what? It was just about American, European. I never get chosen again, because I don't know what has always happened. And then Andre was supposed to fight. I don't know who was supposed to fight. And the guy got injured. And then they were looking one person to replace him to fight, because Carfor was fighting some other guy. And Andre was supposed to fight somebody, get injured, and some other body get injured. And that time, Hyman used to manage me. I don't know how Hyman trick people to accept me to fight Angle War. And that was I have that opportunity to fight Angle War. I was fighting Angle War for replacement for the Super C for some other guys supposed to fight him in semi-final. And for me to go to fight Angle War in Oakland, it was just about making sure that Angle War had to win that fight to fight Garfolk in the final at the Super C. It was just for me, if it to me to win for that fight, I supposed to knock Angle War out to win the fight. If the fight was going the distance, I'm not supposed to win that fight because if I win that fight, I'm supposed to destroy the Super C. And what they were trying to do, they say Angle War go there, try to make sure say Sakio can knock it out. And then when you saw that fight, Angle War was very, I always have to say I need to respect Angle War. It's like Joe Calzaghe, one of the greatest fights. I can't say, if the people then go and watch the tape very, very, very good, very well, and then turn the sound down, and then just see who was winning. Because for that fight, I trained nearly 600 and something pounds. Angle was weighing maybe around 300. I don't know how can you weigh 600 pounds for 12 rounds and someone can weigh 600 pounds and the other guy can win the fight. I never, like if you go and you see and you rewind the tape or you see for the record, I could win more pounds than Angle War, nearly 600 pounds for 12 rounds, and Angle War could win maybe around 300 pounds. So I don't know why I lose that fight. Again, I don't want to go back and say Angle War was dirty. I don't want to say Angle War, it was this, is retired undefeated like Joe Calzaghe. Is one of the greatest fighters too. I respect Angle War, and Angle War respect me too. But for me, it was just, I knew I won that fight again. Certain people that always say it was very close. And then for me, it was just because Angle War that was trying to win that fight to go on the Super C. For me, it was just a little bit sad. I always say to you, people knew me, people that were scaring. Certain people that always scare. That time, I was one of the best super-middleweight. I never got the chance to go for the Super C. I fought Angle War. It's been on poor, And then when people then saw that fight, it was one of the best fights. And Angle War said for the people, I have to say what Angle War said. For many people, manager, trainer, say, look, I never get this guy. I was pissing blood for nearly 1 week. He was pissing blood. It's not bullshit. I don't say that many people that say that some men from America, his name is, and Jeff Wall is a big manager for position for many people. He said, except this guy, Sugar Ray, if you ask him, he will tell you, Angle War was say for people, say, well, pissing blood maybe for 1 week, say, I never get this guy rematch. I was lucky to win this fight. I always say for people, when I fight someone one time, no one wants to give me a rematch. Again, it was just one of the kind of classical boxing. I always put the best show because I always come to put the best show, the best, I never come to the fight, try to make my opponent or to look good. Not like look good. I always go there, more pressure and more strong. I'm coming there. After the fight, people that always say, oh, I'm very lucky I win the fight. This guy is just too strong. But for me, I always say, fighting Angle War again, it was again the pleasure, the retire undefeated. And then for me, it always, kind of history. I always write the book. I always write in the book, fighting Angle War just to get some other story. When some people watch that fight, they always say, oh, that fight was very good. Sakio, that guy, man, he can fight. For me, it's always a pleasure. Say I win the fight, people they always say, oh, man, that guy, she said if he lose the fight, he can fight. For me, it's just always, like, for me, I always feel like when people they always pull me for the high, for the first place, they always respect, what I bring, to the boxing. For me, it always make me feel like, say if I lose, I always get the credibility. People they always respect, it didn't lose, may things happen, then give for the other guy, may that guy can fight. Say my opponent, when they win, they always sit in the back and they say for that people, for a certain friend or for some trainer, say, oh man, that guy, I was lucky, man, that guy can fight, man, he's very strong. And for me, he always make me feel like, I need to go back again, always train hard, to always making sure, people that can always respect. And then when you're talking about Sakio Bika, we never put it down. You always say, that guy, in nearly 200, he was fighting nearly 20 years now. He always the guys, when you're fighting, it's always strong. Down for me, it always make me feel like people respect me a lot, and it always give me that aura attitude to me to go in the gym and work very hard. For me, fighting Anglo War was just, again, I said to you, one of the best moments for my book history. Always fighting the best. And when you're fighting the best, you are the best. That was, I always could say myself, like one of the best fights from nearly 20 years for my generation. I can't say, when I look at around 2000 to 2020, I wish I was one of the best fights for two generations, 2000 and 2020, because nobody never tried to challenge Sakio Bika. I challenge everyone always pretends they never heard. And then I beat some people, or I challenge them, they never say, okay, I can fight Sakio Bika. Why they don't want to fight Sakio Bika? Why? Being back in boxing around 18 or 17, may I ask you ask me about Anglo, and I don't want to go behind Anglo. I'll just say it was, for me, fighting Anglo was just again one of the history book I take for my record. Say I fought against one of the best fighters in 168 pounds.
And you're a proud man, you're a proud fighter. I think you could tell that by the way you'd fight. And I know that some of the losses that we mentioned, you felt that you did enough to win. Did you ever think though that perhaps it just wasn't meant to be? Because officially you drew with Marcus Beyer, you lost to Calzaghe, you had the loss to Bute in an eliminator, you had the disqualification against Mendy, you lose to Andre Ward. You had a lot of chances up to this point that obviously you didn't kind of make the most of. Did you ever think that perhaps it's just not supposed to be, you're not supposed to become a world champion, or not?
Before that, I was thinking maybe it was just I'm not supposed to, maybe it was just the way sometimes life is go on. Maybe sometimes this guy have the talent, but never become a world champion. For me, it was just feel I have all the best talent in the world. I can fight everyone. I can win the world title. I can defend. I can beat everyone. But sometimes when you go there, you always face people that like you. They have that hunger. They want to become a world champion. Then just the kind of people like you. Again, because my generation in 2020, all these guys are super-middleweight and was very, very fresh. They want to win it. They want to win. And then I was just maybe one of the unlucky, because sometimes when I say unlucky, because I don't know exactly if we need luck, because luck is not there. You have to go and train hard. I don't like to say people they're lucky, because luck is not exist. You have to go and work hard. For me, I was just maybe it was a man to become that time. So when I win the WBC belt, I was just okay. I was so happy. But for that time, when I fought Anglo, Market Beyer, I get disqualified by Mendy. I get ripped up by Bute. I went so many countries to fight all these people. I will always feel like maybe my time, it wasn't right for that time. I will just say maybe I just need to go back again in the gym, train the way I train, always have one thing for my mind, being a positive man. And when you're positive and you think positive, so you want to become one of the world champions, maybe we have that chance. And that was, I never back up. I never have no heartbroken. And then I always have on my mind, say, to be the best, you have to train hard. And then to become a world champion, you don't have to go pay to become a world champion. You have to train hard. You have to own it. And for me, I will just say maybe one day I will own it to become a world champion. And then have them say always they laugh, they have up and down. The down one, it was just the bad moment. But now, when I win the world title, I was up. It was just, I said to you, maybe my time, it wasn't for that period when I was fighting all these guys. It wasn't for my time. Maybe my time was coming back later. And that was, I said, you see, sometimes you cannot change the universe. You cannot change the universe. You just have to go the way it goes. If it's your time, it will become yours. If it's not, I always say it's not luck. Because if I was if it was the luck, maybe someone that was lucky, man, for me, I always feel like so maybe it wasn't lucky, it wasn't my turn, my time. For Beckham to beat this guy, maybe it was very close, then give to them maybe someone. It was unlucky. I get disqualified. I always say maybe it's the university. It's supposed to be like that again. Yeah.
And I think your persistence and your mindset kind of, delivered in the end. Because after that loss to Ward, you take a whole year out the ring. You come back. This is when you go on a brilliant run. You stop Alfredo Contreras in 3. Then you become the only man ever to this day to stop Dyer Davis. Then you take the O away from the undefeated 25-0 Nicolas Schwetlocker. You had some real momentum behind you at this point. And obviously the Schwetlocker fight was a final eliminator for the WBC world title. This would mean your next fight would be for the world title. June 22nd, 2013 was the date at the Barclays Center in New York. You boxed for the vacant title against the undefeated Marco Antonio Periban. Tell me, Sakio, about the night you finally achieved your goal of becoming a world champion and that persistence paid off. What did it mean to you, man?
It mean a lot. It mean like sometimes you dream when you were baby, you young. I dream when I was, I was living in Cameroon, maybe 17 years ago before I qualified for 2000 Olympics. It was just the kind of moment sometimes you recognize, wow, I achieved exactly what I was looking for. For me, it was one of the best moments in my life because when I run the tape back, I see so many people are fat. I fought like I never had the chance to win the belt, and then this time I win it. I have it in my hand. It was this kind of moment. Sometimes you run the tape back, you see the young kid when I used to sit on TV, maybe at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, or back at home, see all this big father like Evander Holyfield, my Euro, like Terry Norris, my Euro, Mark Tyson, all these big names, and then now I have the WBC for my hand. I couldn't. It was just a kind of moment. You don't know if it's real. You don't know if it's fake. You don't know exactly. The kind of feeling you can have. For me, it was just one of the best moments of my life. Again, that time I never forget it. Winning that WBC belt for me, it was, the dream come true. And so many people that were so very happy with me. So this guy won a lot for so many up and down, and definitely won it. And then I won the WBC belt. I can't say it was because before I have too many people. When you say you have a good team behind you, maybe that time I didn't have it. This time I have a good team. I have a high element behind me, supporting me, helping me for my training camp, making sure I have everything in my hand, making sure I'm prepared, making sure that I have this, I have that. For me it was just one of the kind moments. Sometimes you figure out, now that dream I used to dream when I was baby. Now I have the really WBC belt in my hand. For me it was just awesome. I wasn't sitting now. When I look at that WBC belt at my home, I always say, wow, I achieved my goal. Now, I feel I say, except if tomorrow or whatever I retire, I can always look the young kid and say, if you have a dream, you have to follow your dream. Sometimes the up and down may never, you never, I don't know how to say that, like you never get disappointed. If you get disappointed or you get a little bit disappointed, you never achieve your goal. You always up and down. Except if you lose, you never give up. Go and train. Always put in your mind, you want it. And one day it will happen. And for me, it was the way it is. Because if you like tomorrow, if I can, someone want to come and say, want to do a movie for me, I think maybe I will get one of the best movies. Because when you see a full Calzaghe, Marcus Beyer, Lucien Bute, Jean-Paul Mendy, I fought all up and down. I always, close, lose. I never give up. Always pushing. Go back to the gym. Start again. Every single day. And then I win it. How can I say now? I achieve it. I'm happy. so happy. I was very happy for myself. Again, this is the kind of thing sometimes how I'm stressed out to say when I go for my home sometimes I see my WBC bird. I'm nearly 40. I always say yes, Sakio. I'm so happy for myself, happy for my family. Say now I achieve my goal. Except tomorrow, if I need to encourage a kid, I have a story behind me. I will tell them to kids, see, I always up and down. If you can't keep up, going. If you want to break down, when you break down, it's over. You never come back. You never break down. Just go behind and forget it and keep working very hard. Always dream. And that was for me because I always dream, and then the dream became the reality. And I was just very happy to become a WBC champion in the world. For me, was the dream come true. It was happy for myself. Living in Australia, I was very happy, looking myself, going back to Cameroon, where I'm coming from. And maybe tomorrow, if I need to encourage young kids from Cameroon, sometimes with people coming from Africa, the life is very difficult there. I will always say for young kids coming from Cameroon, say, kids, if you need to become, if you want to achieve your goal, you have to work hard, and then you can achieve it. May not kind of hard say, if it didn't happen, you can just break. No, you can't break down. You breathe and you breathe in and you breathe out, and then you start again. And one day you can achieve your goal. And for me, it was just one of kind of encouragement I can give maybe for some young kids, not just in Cameroon, all over the world, Australia, Cameroon, all over the world. They ask me a question, how do you do it? I will tell them, say, never give up. It's the only way I will say to them, never give up.
Yeah, and it's, you didn't ever give up, and your perseverance paid off, and you deserved it in the end for sure. Let's talk about your defences. Your first defence came 6 months later, back at the Barclays Centre in Brooklyn against the undefeated Anthony Dirrell. You're down in round 5, but you hold on to the title when the scorecards reveal a split draw. Tell us about that one briefly there, Sakio.
Briefly, I will just say, again, I'm not American. Anthony Dirrell, American. He beat the cancer. They're looking some superstar. They forced me to say Anthony Dirrell was the manager for the IBF. I didn't say no. I said, okay, I will take him out. I said, no, I don't want it. And say, they forced me to say was the number one. And I always say to you, things happen. Maybe I win the fight. It grabbed me. I didn't say it didn't grab me. It grabbed me. I'll go back. I win so many rounds. And the last round, I nearly knocked it out. It was lucky. And in the end, then it was draw. And then it was just a kind of, they were looking maybe to strip the belt to give for American because he beat the cancer. They were looking. He have good story behind him. This guy living in Australia, maybe Australia, yes, he's an Australian. But he's not, Australia, who give a shit. It's not like UK. If I will live in UK, people say, fuck, this is a UK guy. If I will live in Canada, people will say, oh, fuck, this is a Canadian. Said, it's African, it's Canadian. If I will live in America, people will say, fuck, this is American. Said he was born in Cameroon. They don't give a shit. When me live in Australia, nobody give a shit. They don't care. They didn't give a care, I can go back to America. If I was American, yeah, people didn't care. If I was Canadian, I was UK care for the citizen. When you're UK, come anywhere, they will support you 100%, and we say, fuck that, or we bring him here. Man, the thing I never have no chance to get that in Australia. Man, in the Ghana, I always say for people, I'm lucky I'm living in Australia. It doesn't mean say I don't love Australia. I love Australia, man. I never have no chance. The Australian people, the good promoters, you say this is Australian. They need to they need to go behind you and support him. I went back over there, was draw. And if I had really people, if I was UK, I supposed to say that I don't need to give no more rematches done. The UK is over. But then forced me again to give you a rematch. And then, yeah, you have to, sorry, I carry on. Yeah, it was just the kind of thing sometimes you win the fight, and then because I wasn't American, them two was draw. I'm not supposed to give no rematch. And then, it was draw, and then I sucked that in, and then I said, okay, we see I was looking for the next one.
Yeah, and, as you say, the rematch takes place 8 months later in Carson, California. Once again, the fight goes the distance. You had a point deducted in round 8 for a low blow.
Yeah.
You end up losing unanimously. Yeah, that's got to be a bad, sad memory to look back on, I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, it was very, very sad. It was very sad. Again, I always say, I don't know exactly for that fight there for the rematch. Sitting now, I don't want to say, I never said that for the people. This is the first time you asked me that. And then I never take that on the back of Anthony Dirrell. He win the fight. Definitely win the fight. I can't say he didn't win it. If I say I win it, maybe I will say maybe I'm lying. Because for the fight, I said to you, I was prepared for the fight. I need to say something for you. I will prepare for the fight. I was one hungry and fit like crazy. My sparring partner, I can say I have a 3 sparring partner that could handle me for 12 rounds, 10 rounds. You can call my trainer. You ask him. You can call people that were there. I was fit. I was ready to beat Anthony Dirrell. But for the fight, I don't know if I was overtrained or people that were growing me. I don't know. Some my people, you need to ask them. Before the warm-up fight, I was in my dressing room. I feel I say my foot wasn't there. I wasn't there. The first punch I hit for warm-up, I feel like I was flat. I don't know what happened for me. I not say that it's the first time I'm saying this story for people, and I say that for many people, my friends. See, I don't know for that fact who I will overtrain or I will get them someone drugs, or maybe they put something in my water or they do something. I don't know. I don't want to point the finger. It was just a kind of thing sometimes. You're very, very fit at the gym. You have 3 sparring partners. You break them down every time. I was like machine trained, prepared for that fight. I was very fit. I was very strong. I was hurting my sparring partner and the sparring, for sparring everything. I don't say that just because I want maybe people to know about that or Sakio here. He's talking bullshit. I don't like to talk about myself. Man, if people that have the chance to maybe talk to my sparring partner, the one that was helping me for Anthony Dirrell, they will tell people I was so very fit. Maybe for the fight, maybe I don't know what happened, or I was flat, or maybe something, then do something for my aura. I don't want to point the finger for nobody. Maybe the thing is, it was just very sad for me losing my WBC belt and the rematch with Anthony Dirrell. It was very, very sad for me. And I wasn't very happy again. I can't say I didn't get beat, because if I say I didn't get beat, you feel I say this guy company look. And again, I get beat. But the thing is, I don't know, because I was overtrained. I don't know if he then do something or then draw. I don't know. Again, it was just the kind of sadness. Again, how I say to you again, sometimes when you want to run the step back, you always say, why is always me? They always have to give me more pressure. I was fighting all the best fighters in the world. I win the WBC belt. They come to me. I fought Anthony Dirrell. It was draw. Why they not give me some rematch? I can choose who I want to fight before I fight Anthony Dirrell. Why? Why just they need to put me more pressure again to say rematch? Why I will fight Anthony Dirrell before? Because before I fight Anthony Dirrell, I become a number one. They have number one spot was vacant. When you become a number one, you don't need to fight straight away the number one. You can go and find some other one. You defend your belt first, and then maybe 3 months or 4 months or 8 months or 1 year, and you find out they have the number one position. But they force me for everything, because sometimes I say to you, if I was Englishman coming from Africa, maybe the Englishmen, they love them. They don't care about where you're coming from. When you can fight, the English people, they love you. You go to Canada, when you coming from Cameroon, you coming from where you can fight, Canadian people, they love you. You go to America, you coming from, I don't know, anywhere in the world, you are American, they will go behind you. You only the country, maybe I was in Australia, I never had no chance. The Australian people, they love boxing, they love me, oh, this guy, he do that by himself, he won the WBC, never get no support of the people. He trained very hard. He became a world champion. Nobody never heard him. I always have good story behind me. I always say I never get Australia people go behind me and try to protect me to have that belt for so long. Again, that was I always say, maybe it wasn't maybe living in Australia, maybe it wasn't maybe the right place. Me again, I say to you, I have 3 beautiful kids here in Australia with Australian women, and then I'm very happy with my kids. I'm very happy I live in Australia. Me again, to Australia people to go behind me to try to have that birth to come and defeat that in Australia. Or several when I won the RBO, only thing maybe I never have that chance because maybe it wasn't for myself. I don't know. Because if I was maybe decided I want to go to UK, become maybe fight in UK or Canada or America, maybe I'm supposed to be more happy over there. Now I'm very happy, what I achieved in my career. I'm happy I'm living in Australia. My kids, I'm happy. I'm always happy. I always see I never get married. The bad thing is just maybe I never had the chance Australia people supporting me. That was always the negative thing I had because fighting the best fight, I was one of the best fights Super-Middleweight, all maybe for my generation. And then I was go everywhere. If I was maybe how I just a British, Canadian, American, maybe I'm supposed to be maybe one of the best fight maybe for all time, maybe I Super-Middleweight because after winning that fight or maybe before then, maybe I suppose because I was very set now, I always fit. I always looking strong. I never break my motivation. Maybe losing that fight with Anthony Dirrell, I think maybe it was just a kind of sad moment. And I feel if maybe I have the government or people or we not have no good promoter here. Because if I say promoter or management and also we not have one of them shit, then just about themselves. They're not about boxer, then just care about themselves. That was I always say maybe, it wasn't maybe the way it's supposed to be, maybe because I was living in Australia, I would always go to America to fight, and then my manager hired me and said to me, can't live in America. I said, no, I don't want to live in America because I didn't like the way people live there. I want to live in Australia. Maybe they always change them now. I always fight. I never retire. I always fight. Maybe I always say maybe Australia, they never, Australia promoter or manager or people, maybe when you are not born Australia or when you know Australia, maybe Australia is not for people. If you really want to become a professional person, maybe Australia, I need to say that I don't give a shit about nobody. Maybe Australia not the best place to be in because all the promoters and managers, they just fucking shit. They're just about themselves. They don't know how to do it. The business, they're just there for themselves. They don't care about boxing. They just care about themselves. If you said they want to care about boxing, then pretend. But they're not there about boxing. They're just about themselves, about how much money they can make and how much bank account they can have, how much more money they can get it. And for me, my own regret was just, winning that belt with Anthony Dirrell was very sad for myself because I was just there by myself. I wasn't nobody in Australia that was there for support Sakio Bika. If it was there for me, maybe I'm not supposed to lose that belt because it wasn't there for me, and that belt just disappeared from my hand. How I always say to you, I was happy to win it. So how it disappeared, I never get disappointed because Sakio is Sakio. Sakio is me. Me who make me feel, who can make me feel happy? Just myself. If I'm happy, I don't care about Australia or the government or the promoter or the people. Whatever I care when I'm happy. I see people in the street, I shake them hand, life go on. It's a happiness, man. If the government or the people in Australia was very supportive, my bet never go away. Maybe I'm supposed to defend that maybe 20 times or 10 times or 7 times before I can lose it because I was one of the guys, very fit, very strong. Nobody couldn't handle me. How I said to you, I lose that belt that day because I can't say I beat Anthony Dirrell because I don't know if I will get draws. I was just flat. I don't know what happened. Again, how I said to you, you just have to move on and get that and be happy.
And you never really had it easy outside the ring, easy inside the. Well, you never made it easy inside the ring. You people, I guess, probably weren't looking out for your best interest because, like you say, it's difficult. A guy from Africa coming to Australia and then fighting in a, you're fighting out of Australia, your adopted homeland, and then you're going to a different place to fight representing your adopted homeland.
Exactly.
But 8 months later, you travel to Canada. And I've got to say, Sakio, man, you really didn't seem to shy away from a fight with anyone. You boxed anyone, anytime, any place, anywhere. You go out to Canada, you move up to light heavyweight. In your very first fight at the weight, you boxed one of the biggest pound-for-pound punchers in the world, Adonis Stevenson, April the 4th, 2015. Can you take any moral victory away from boxing a great fighter, a bigger fighter, a southpaw puncher like him in Canada at a weight that isn't natural to you and going the distance? Even if you lost, can you take a positive out of that?
Oh, it was very positive. I was just very, very, very happy again, to fight, Adonis Stevenson. Just very moving up to light heavyweight and fighting Adonis Stevenson. Was just losing with him, getting knocked out to us, getting up. Maybe the first one was sleep. The second one was I didn't see that right hand coming up, and then push him all the way back. And then, it was just one of the moments again for my life. Say, this guy, when I see myself, I always say, it was always, when I see my resume again, fighting Adonis Stevenson, knock up everyone with a big punch, go with the distance with it, was just unbelievable. Just for me, I was just feel like, except now, every time I see, when you always run the step back, how you say you run the step back to the beginning to now to Adonis Stevenson. For me, that great story you do, like who you presented to me now, it just made me feel so very happy, so very positive, and so very happy, to love boxing, to what I love. Because running that step back, go to Canada, fight this guy, and then people then will say, oh, because some one person come to me after the fight, you bought me one orange juice because he want to buy me a beer. I said, I'm not drinking. He said to me, Sakio, you know why? I said, no. He said, I just want 15,000 US Canada. I said, bullshit. He said, you want 50,000? He said, why? How do you want it? I said, because I bet of you say, Adonis can't stop you. I said, what? I say, well, and that time he bought me juice, and then what he said to me, Sakio, look, if you hang out with bad, he bought me juice, he said, because I haven't been my teammate, he bought everyone a beer. He said, I give you a beer for everybody. And they give me a business card. Say, anytime you come to Canada, if you want to see me, just see me, come say hello, okay, I will get you a beer. Because he said, Sakio, I want 50,000 for one of my friends, say, Adonis can't stop you. Say, because nobody never stop you. He just said that to me. For me, he just blew me mad. Say, I just say, thank you. We have a picture. It was just one of the kind of, the kind of recognition, the kind of, like, when I see myself like I can take, like, I can fight with the heavyweight. I can handle them to 12 rounds. They never know me. And for me, it was just one of the achievements. Say, again, losing with Adonis Stevenson, and fighting him to a light heavyweight. The first fight, light heavyweight, and going the distance with you, for me, it was just, again, I don't know exactly how to qualify myself. Maybe you have some words to qualify me or to tell me exactly who I am. Because sometimes when people they ask me, sometimes, Sakio, who are you exactly? Where, what you so lucky, why you so strong, why you always fit, why you always, I say, look, it's about management. I know how to manage my body. I know how to take care of my body. I know how to, to take care for this body. That was about management. And then when you say that to me again, go and fight Adonis and lie. I wasn't a lie, And then maybe I will go very good. Then again, I get beat on point. For me, I don't know exactly what kind of knowledge you can give to me, because if I say to me, I'm just a Terminator, or I just like maybe the Robocop, I don't know exactly, because people they always ask me, Sakio, you're just too strong. Exactly what you doing, how you body, so why? Me myself, I don't know the answer about myself. I just say maybe in the way God was, the way I was born, and then not about self on the way you was born, just the way how you manage yourself, how you take care of your body, how you make sure you can take maybe. I'm very lucky because one day I went to do the X-ray in America before every boxing, you have to do the X-ray, you have to do the brain scan, you have to do someone. One day someone said to me, I need to tell you a short story before I go back. I think with Adonis. He said, Sakio, you have very, very thick bone spoon for your brain. maybe I was just very lucky. Say my brain, it had some very thick bone around my brain. Maybe that was maybe it's very difficult people to know me at. Again, I was just very happy again to fight one of the best fights and the light heavyweight, knocking everyone out. He couldn't knock me out again. It was just a pleasure again for myself. I said to you, always we need to click the box. I was clicking the box. I went to Canada. I fought Adonis. He beat me on point. So I put the best show. Yes, I put the best show. People that was happy. Yes, people that were happy. People then come to you after the fight. They say you're very good. Yes, people buy me B like juice. Yes, people buy me B. And someone won 15,000. Yes, someone won 50,000 because he knew that nobody can stop him. For me, it was just a pleasure again to fight Adonis Stevenson.
And yeah, like I say, I mean the odds were against you like crazy in that fight. And after that, you don't box for 2 years. Then you come back in 2017 with 2 wins. The first over Luke Sharp, who came in as a cruiserweight for a super middleweight fight, and you end up knocking him out in round 7. Then you go out with a win over Gerard Ajetovic. You outpoint him over 12. You retire with a record of 34 wins, 7 losses, and 3 draws. So that's where it ended. So Sakio, I want to ask you a few kind of quick fire questions, just really quick ones before we get on to.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I'm with you. No, I'm with you. You make me feel the way you bring me back. It just make me feel so happy. I'm just very impressed again. Thank you to Boo and the step back. I was just very, of course, this interview for me just make me, you blow my mind up. It just make me feel so happy today.
Oh, nice, man. That's exactly what you need before the fight next week. So I'm happy about that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want to ask you, Sakio, man. You say that the bones around your brain is really thick and that you just can't get knocked out, and I believe that. Who would you say though is the hardest puncher you ever fought?
For me, the hardest punch people that always ask me, and it's not the first one you ask me about that. You are not the first one. People that ask me all over the world, internet, Australia, America. When I go step to Europe sometimes, when I speak to people all ask me who are the top fighters. I always say to them, it's just one guy. When I fought him on the Contender final, Jadon Carrington, and say what? I said, Jadon Carrington, that guy, I never get hit like that. Because if I say Adonis, or if I say maybe Anglo, if I say maybe Joe Calzaghe, maybe I want to give some people the recognition and then make them feel I say, okay, maybe because I'm bigger, you've been there, say bigger. I need to be very fair. That was I always say. I'm not there for bullshit. I'm not there for stealing. I get knocked out by Adonis. Yeah. I get knocked out by Anthony Dirrell. Yeah. This was just flash. You can't see. Made the very, very strong one. I always say that for every guy. He asked me that question. I said, was this guy Jadon Carrington? That left hook or the punch was hitting me. I will feel it. Because with me, I can feel it. It's like a poker game. You feel it, you make say not feel it. It's not for who's scared. And then when I hit you, you feel it. If you show me, say no, you hurt, I will jump. With me, because I have so many, I have that kind of like a body, like poker game. I never show people. I know it's not bullshit. The very tough punch for all people I fought is Jadon Carrington. It's not bullshit. I can't say it was Adonis. I can't say it was Anglo. I can't say it was Joe Calzaghe. I can't say it was that or that or that or that. It was Jadon Carrington, the guy I fought in the final on the Contender.
Yeah, and yeah, he really could punch. On to the next quick question. Which win of your career? Because I'm interested in this. Which win of your career, Sakio, is your favorite, most satisfying win?
Oh man, the win, man, is the winning the WBC World Title.
Yeah, against
winning
Periban,
the WBC World Title again. Because winning that WBC World Title again, it's so many history for there. So many history because my daughter, she will turn 7 in June. She will turn 8 in June. when my daughter she was born, I wasn't there. I was in America fighting for the world title. Though my daughter she was born maybe 2 days or maybe two days earlier or 2 days later before I won the WBC belt. No, I wasn't when my wife she was born. She was getting the third child of my daughter. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the hospital. So I missed the birth for my daughter. And then when you ask me that, winning the WBC belt, I want the contender. The contender is the kind of belt people. It was maybe 300, maybe 300 million, maybe 500 million. Then was the contender because it was one of the best series in 2007, not 17, 2007. Maybe winning the WBC belt. Oh shit, man! It's not the RBO. It's not the RBF. It's not the It's not the WBO. It's the WBC. One of the karate belts. So many karate world champion and one. I used to want to go from, early 18, early 17, early 19. I don't want to start speaking the names. Too many names. Won the WBC, and then this guy, this young kid. He coming from Africa, Cameroon, living in Australia, travel all around the world, try to put some food at the table, winning the WBC belt and the Barclays Center in America. For me, it was just one of the moments on time. So I always say, when you run the step behind, start say story behind me, step by step, step by step, step by step. So now, the kind of time, like the kind of belt when you win it, you never forget it because if it's out, because the best fight and the best thing you win, if I say was a contender, I'm lying. If you know the WBC, one of the greatest belts of all time, when I get out with the WBC, just show that for people, the kind of belt they want to touch it, people they want to feel it, and then I won it. I mixed that in 2000 when I full market, but I didn't get it. And then I won it, the WBC. And for me, you cannot, it's just the kind of, you never forget it. You can forget all the record you have. When I'm home, every time, and my connection, when I see that WBC belt, I always feel I say achieve. I fought for many eliminator, becoming number one, this, that. It doesn't mean nothing. I draw for WBC. Sometimes maybe when you draw in WBC, you become a world champion too. Maybe they're supposed to maybe bring the law. When you draw, you're a world champion too. But maybe when I draw the fight with market bias, maybe I'm supposed to become a world champion. But I didn't. But winning the WBC, I'm just 40. Maybe I'm too high. Maybe I don't know if I can live. Maybe say 100 years old. If I'm too high, 62. Just remember. I won the WBC belt again. Every young kid is seeing me or I present you, I talk to him, I say, if you want to win, try to win something you can always remember. To me, winning the contender, yeah, it wasn't a world title. Man, winning the WBC belt was one of the best things of my life. You can't describe it. You can't forget it. No, you can always be there. Always to the end, to the end of this world. You can always be there.
Yeah. And again, let's go through this next one quite quickly, Sakio.
Yeah.
Who's the best fighter you ever fought? It's surely got to be either Adonis, Joe Calzaghe, or Andre Ward. I'm guessing it's one of them three.
I think so, yeah. I think one of them three, Joe Calzaghe, Andre Ward, or Adonis. I think for me, the best fight, I think I fought, I can say maybe it was Joe Calzaghe. Joe Calzaghe, because, I don't say that because is a British or because I think it was Joe Calzaghe because, and the way I train or the way I push him and the way he say on the, maybe in the run 8, he say for his father, what can I do? His father say, let's go there, but because he didn't know what to do. Man, again, for me, when I run the step back for the interview, when he say, because in the run 8, he say he asked for his father, what can I do? Because too much pressure, I put so much pressure for me. I always feel again, it was maybe around 21 or 20,000. I can't remember, 21,000 or 20,000. It was packed for me, I always feel I say the best fight was with me with Joe Calzaghe because again he retired undefeated. I can't say I can't say he was with Adonis Svensson or was with Anglo War. I think my best fight was with Joe Calzaghe. I feel I say it was one of the fights when I watched on that tape. I see the way he was speak or the way he was breathing and the way he was a little bit scared and then the way he will except when he say after the fight, it's not just him, every single person. Anglo War, every single person. He said this guy's just too strong. He's always calm. He never get hurt. Say that step by step, step by put a little bit on negative and dirt. I wasn't meant for me. Always feel I say the respect is there because when they say I'm too strong, people respect that, and that is like my trademark respect. And say it's too strong. It's about respect, and then for me, I think it was Joe Calzaghe, one of the best fighters I fought.
So Joe Calzaghe, the best fighter that you fought, you reckon, yeah? Okay,
yep.
That is interesting. And I want to ask you this as well, Sakio. Have you got any regrets about if you could go back and change something in your boxing career? Please keep it brief. Is there any regrets?
Yeah. Oh, regret, I will keep brief. Regret, I will just say I get a regret. I will just regret two things. Maybe regret if I knew in the beginning, maybe I never, after 2000 Olympics, maybe I was supposed to go maybe to America or Canada for some place. And the second regret again is maybe if I knew again, maybe I was supposed to go live to America to really take care with the best manager. That is the two regrets. The regret is about leaving Australia, and the other one because I'm supposed to go and get the best manager in America. Or but again, I have the good manager, Anglo and Ahmed. When it come after when I win the Contender, I was start for that contract. He knew how to take me for the contract, and he gave me other opportunity. For me, it was, I can't say I have the best manager too because Ahmed made me I won the WBC. He looked after me very well. He gave me so many big fights like Anglo War, like all these big fights was just Ahmed making the best job behind me because it wasn't me. And nobody didn't want to fight me that time because I have the best manager. Maybe if I will have Ahmed earlier for my career, around earlier, maybe I was supposed to be maybe one of the greatest fighters again. I never regret. Just the two regrets. I didn't have living in Australia. It wasn't a good decision for me to be in. And then I didn't get the best manager on the early of my career. If I had the best manager taking care for my business very well, maybe I suppose things supposed to be very good for me, for myself. And again, that's just the two regrets I have.
And if you could fight, not now, but if let me rephrase. If
I can always fight everyone because I can always fight because Eddie Hearns. Let me tell you, Eddie Hearns is said now. I'm nearly 40. Eddie Hearns is say I don't have to. It's not bullshit. Call him now or tomorrow. It's call Eddie Hearns. He said to Eddie Hearns say he never put nobody at super-middleweight England with me. He refused. I challenge everyone there in UK to come there and fight at super-middleweight. And Eddie Hearns say, look, this guy is too dangerous. Don't nobody said now. People them so scared. I not say that you can ask Eddie Hearns. He will say the crew. You don't need to put for the interview. Just ask him. Say Eddie Hearns. Sakio say you never put your father with him. It's true. He will say they have to be very fair. Say Sakio say yes. He said that he never put his father with Sakio Bika because everyone is too scared to fight me or to challenge me because I'm nearly 40. I'm still looking good. I'm still on the shape. That doesn't mean say I'm retired. I don't want to say I'm still very, very good how I used to be. I used to train. I'm not training again the way I used to train because I train now very smart. My 80 hands is say he come. I want to fight. I don't need to challenge nobody. I want to fight the best fight at super-middleweight. England, America. Nobody never challenged me. I'm 40. I have the best regimen and the boxing history for all time. And people are too scared to fight me. Why? Because this guy, he can fight.
Sakio, my question was actually going to be, if you could have fought anyone in your career, is there a guy that you wish you could have got the chance to fight but didn't get the chance to fight? That was what my question was going to be.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'll just jump over. I'm not supposed to do it. Okay.
Because I know for a while you wanted to fight.
It's good. It's a very good question. Yeah, the best question was when I used to fight, because I say now we've been very, very, very selfish. The best person I was trying to fight refused. It was you guy from Carfro. I went to England.
Yeah, I remember you coming here. I remember. Yeah,
coming to England with the WBC belt. When after when his win, I was there ringside. AJ Hearns to give me the ticket, the seat ringside. I went in the press conference with my WBC belt. I showed my WBC. I said to Carfro, "This is the two belt. Let's unify." And he pissed himself. He couldn't challenge me. It was just the best. It was just a regret, because if you, how I always say, when I used to fight, nobody, certain people that have to be fair, and then you have to say that too. Nobody never get no chance to challenge me. People that were just scared for them pants, under them pants. I went to England, pay my flat with one of my, entourage. We went there. He challenged Carfro after when he beat what's his name again? He beat one of the father English
Groves,
guys
I think it was.
Grove. Yeah, it was Grove. He beat Grove. I went and said for Carfro, this is the best time to call me up and we unify the bird. He couldn't. And we had the Peter man here. He couldn't say, okay, is it because I went there? I want to show the people. Say, yeah. Because I said that in Australia, I said I want to challenge him. People that will say, I bought my flag. I bought accommodation. I bought everything. I went there. I said, let's do it. Let's unify the bird. Man, he couldn't, because it was just a pussy house, They was just scared, and then he couldn't. And then for me, it's just a regret, Pay my flag, go to England, go out to challenge this guy before after, he beat Grove, to unify the bird, and he hometown, because I was coming to your hometown to unify over there, and just have to give the date when and when to happen. Man, nobody never speak. It was just so quiet again. It just went quiet, and nobody never talk about it. Because you know why? Because it's always because this guy's coming from Africa. Because if I was Canadian, I was English, I was America, the journalists, all the journalists are supposed to support me and say, no, this guy can't come over there. And then because why? WBC, nobody will give a shit because I win it, because they know I'm too good, I'm too dangerous for everyone. He just went very quiet. Nobody never talk about it. I went there, people show me 2 days after that it went quiet. Nobody never say, oh, why no, this fight have to happen. Nobody, no journalists ever say. Nobody, everyone was quiet. That was I always say, look, that was I was just one of, I can't say because I was just lucky to say the other journalists I never had the chance, maybe because, and that's in Australia, this all journalists, they never had the chance to support me the way they support. Because if I was going to England, quite challenging guy, he's supposed to accept to fight me, because this was the opportunity to fight me, and people they're supposed to talking about to make this fight happening. Why that this fight never happened? Why? Because they were just too scared. Because they was too scared, and because the second thing, because it's always because where you're coming from, who you represent, who represent you, what exactly, who represent you, which people they love you, especially if you live in Australia. I said, these journalists, they love you, they love to talk about you. It was just about them. If I was British, I always say, I was a Canadian, a Canadian Cameroon, British Cameroon, whatever. The British people, when I went in, they're supposed to say, all the money, I'm supposed to say, go to the newspaper, say, no, this fight had to happen. Man, it just went very quiet. That was one of my regrets, because I never had the chance to beat this guy in UK. And because, see, again, I have the record. I fought Joe Calzaghe in UK. People, they only knew who I was. I give the best show, the best fight with Joe Calzaghe, HBO, the first fight, and Joe Calzaghe in HBO. It was with me. And then it was just the best moment to careful to show the people in England, say, no, I can fight. Sakio fight Anglo, Sakio fight Joe Calzaghe. Maybe I will show the people for England, say I can be, man. Everyone was just too scared. Because why? It's not easy for nobody. Nobody don't want to take no chance. And people then just too scared for them pains. And then for me, it was just one of the regrets. I never fought. I never get the chance. I went to England to fight Joker and my Carfu. I never get the chance to fight him. He just went very quiet. And I said to you, it's always Sakio, Sakio have so much story. I think maybe I need to make a movie. Someone have to come and say, Sakio need to do a movie because my movie will be one of the best movie people that want to watch it.
You know what? I would have liked to see that fight with you and Froch. I think it would have been an interesting fight, and I think if you sit back and look at it from the outside looking in, who would want to fight Sakio Bika? That's how I'd feel. I wouldn't want to fight Sakio Bika of all the guys because you're not going to look good. You're not going to knock him out, even if you bring a gun to the ring. So it's a dangerous fight. But anyway, that's all in the past now. You've been inactive for 3.5 years. I know that in that time you were supposed to fight Nigel Benn. That ended up not happening. I was going to ask because again, when we set up this interview originally, you didn't have a fight scheduled, or you might have had a fight scheduled. I think it fell through. But anyway, it's happening now. Next week, Sam Soliman, the third fight. Tell me how this came around and what are we going to expect to see from you and Sam?
The thing people that have to respect with me with Sam, people that will see the new, it's not the new, the same Sakio coming, looking good, looking fit, looking to take care of his business. Then I fought Sam before, and then he beat me one, I beat him two, I beat him the second time, this is the third time. For me, it just feel like, people, the people that never see me for so long, for nearly 3 years, I didn't fight, that we come and see exactly this guy to look very good or the guy can punch, and the guy too, I don't want to say too much about on next Wednesday. I just want people to be on TV. This part we've been on TV. People that will watch the fight. For me, I always feel like I'm feeling very hard for this fight. I'm prepared very well. I'm ready to rumble up. People that always say I'm very ready to rumble, and then I feel like I'm very confident. Coming this Wednesday, the 31st of March, I'm prepared very well. I train very hard, and then Sam agreed to do this fight at 75 kilo, and then he was thinking I was supposed to get scared. He wants to grab me up to do 75 kilo. I'm very happy to do 75 kilos on next Wednesday and just show them the people in the world, Sakio is look 40. I've been 41 next month. He's 41 years old. I'm still looking good. If I'm not looking good with them, maybe people that will say me they want to fight me. I'm still looking good. Maybe people that will scare me again. I'm saying to you, I'm preparing very well with this fight. I'm looking forward to all my friends around the world to come and to see this fight happening and to see me have a good win, and then to everyone will try to say something what is, if I didn't perform very well, I perform very good, people that will say, but for me, I always say I'm prepared very well with them. I was training very hard. I'm looking good. I feel fit. I don't want to put too much in for the Instagram or for team because when I put so many people, they always say I'm always looking very fit. I don't want to say too much about myself. Now just on next Wednesday, people that we see again, not the new Sakio Bika, but the same Sakio Bika coming and always coming to fight. Never back up, always coming to fight, coming to put the best show on. That's what it is. Yeah.
Wednesday the 31st, so next Wednesday, like you say.
Yeah.
Sakio, what are your kind of future plans? I mean, are you coming back to have just the one fight with Sam, or are you hoping to beat Sam and then, fight other guys? What's the plan long term?
Yeah, my plan for long term, I want to beat Sam, and when I beat Sam, I really want to beat Sam, and then when I beat Sam, maybe I want to challenge, I want to maybe Badou Jack for light heavyweight. And then because I was supposed to say I want to challenge, because for me, maybe when I say that, I always feel like say, even though we say I have maybe big hit, if he maybe this guy, what's his name again, Canelo, he didn't have no opponent yet. I suppose to say maybe I need to challenge Canelo to try to fight with Canelo because, nobody never, say that I'm 41 years old, it doesn't mean say I'm flat. I can still punch. I didn't fight for 3 years. But again, I don't want to start pushing too much, say I want to fight Canelo, I want to show say maybe I can beat him because I can take it, I can hit back, I can take him too. But I don't want to start pushing, I want to fight Canelo. If I start saying that, so this guy have too much big hit. But if it happens, one thing I want to say, after this what we said, I want to fight Badou Jack and light heavyweight. If I have the chance to fight Badou Jack, if I don't have no chance to fight Badou Jack, I need to find someone that have the belt to try to test itself. If it's good, they beat me, maybe it's time to me to hang my glove up. Maybe I beat them, I need to go back again maybe for a couple 1 year or 1 year and a half or 2 years. For me, if I have one loss again before this fight or any time, maybe it's time to hang my glove up because I don't need to achieve no nothing again. I don't need to impress nobody again. I don't need to achieve nothing. I just need to make sure, say, can I fight again? Can I push again this young kid? Because this young kid is nearly 25, 30, 28, 40, 31. They're still scared to fight me. But the thing is, if one day I win, maybe I lose some fight, maybe it's time to me to hang my glove up. I need to be very fair. I'm not there for so long because so many people that were just too scared to fight me. I don't want to be calling the name for people, man. Everyone is feel as if he wants to beat Sakio Bika, he wants to stop Sakio Bika, or he wants to test himself. Somebody needs to challenge me. I'm not there for challenge nobody again because that time is past. It passed away very long time challenging people and people get scared. People that never respond. It's not the time for me to challenge people. The thing is, if it's some young kids, he feel as he need to challenge me. He can wake up and say, okay, I want to challenge. I want to see myself. Who cannot fight? If you feel as if you can fight, challenge me and come and see if you can. If you beat me, maybe you can fight. Maybe if you can't beat me, if you can't challenge me and say you want to fight with me, maybe people are too scared. That's what I say. I don't know if I have the chance to fight somebody. Maybe I want to fight Badou Jack and light heavyweight again. I want to move to light heavyweight. Maybe I can't fight them in light heavyweight. I just need someone to challenge me, to call me and say, want to fight me. And then I never say no because with me, anywhere, anytime, anywhere around the world, I'm ready to come and show you, say, I can come there and fight.
So to put that briefly, you're saying if you were to lose to Sam Soliman, you'd want to hang him up. But if you win, you want Badou Jack at light heavyweight. Am I right in saying that?
The referee that I didn't say if I will lose. I said someone can't beat me. Impossible. Someone never. I just say if one day something happens, I'll lose the fight. That's how you say. If I lose with them, yeah, definitely. If I lose with them, I'm not coming back. I'm retired. Every day I lose fight, I'm not coming back again. I just retire. Period. Okay. I'm not coming back. So if it's someone, because with Sam Soliman never beat me at all, it's impossible. If I say I will use with Sam Soliman, I'm crazy.
Okay.
It's never happened. I just say if tomorrow after when I beat them, I want to fight Badou Jack. If Badou Jack want to fight, or if some young kid are super-middleweight anywhere, no young kid, big fight, no small fight, no some young kid say maybe is looking to beat the rock. I want to fight you. I want to fight the best. One of the best fight at super-middleweight or light heavyweight want to fight me. He present himself, say yes, so I want to challenge you, and then we go and fight. But no young kid because I don't have nothing to do with the young kids and just come. They want to do their life for themselves. I'm not there for them. I want to fight the big fight, like big super-middleweight. Like if he 81 to 1, I will come there and fight this what's his name? What's the guy? He get beat by Canelo. What's that?
Callum Smith.
Callum Smith. I want to fight him. Bring me to England. I fight Callum Smith in England. If you're my old man, say to Eddie Hearn to bring me to England and fight Callum Smith in England. If you're my old, if Callum Smith beat me, come to maybe to give up. But if he Eddie Hearn is too scared to me to come in England and fight like all these young boys and the Callum to me. He say he can't let it father for me. People they're too scared. Why? I'm 41 years old. I'm old. If you feel as if you can beat me, come and fight me. So that was I want to say. If maybe people that want to challenge me, Callum Smith is there. I can fight Callum Smith in England. I can go in America, maybe fight some big name in America. I can go to Canada, fight some big name in Canada. Or I will fight Badou. That was I said, I don't want to challenge nobody anymore because I used to challenge people for so long and nobody never returned my challenge. So I'm sick to challenging people. So I don't want to talk no name for nobody. So I want to challenge this. I want to challenge that. I'm just trained, being prepared, and being ready for anybody they want to challenge me.
Okay, there we go. There we go. So if Callum Smith or Badou Jack, like I say, they've both been on the show before. They've both been on this podcast. If they pick up the phone, Sakio will answer if they call him. My final two questions for you, Sakio, just before we wrap it up.
Yep.
Who comes to mind when I ask you any era from history or from today, whenever? Who's your favourite UK fighter, Sakio?
Wash. Maybe that question, technically, I don't want to. I have so many great UK fighters for so long, and then I used to follow. I can't remember his name, Mendy. I don't want to put young or all this. I don't want to speak for some name for the one day again. Maybe this question, maybe one day you need to call me back and ask me the same question, and I will go back for the video, like for the YouTube video. I have the name for one person, I can't remember his name, and I don't want just to say it was this guy and then it wasn't him, and just to make some people feel happy. But can you please maybe one more time, if you have this idea, you ask me the same question, I will give you the name.
Okay, we will do that. After the Sam Soliman fight, you've got to come back on and tell me the answer to that question. Deal?
Okay, deal.
Okay, and just finally, Sakio, listen, man, the guys over here in the UK, all the supporters that know who you are, that have followed your career, we've always respected you. You've always been tough as hell in the ring. What's your message to your fans over here in the UK, if you've got a nice message for them?
Yeah, I just say, Megan, I'm very appreciative. Before I want to thank everyone. Again, I need to thank you first because, you do my day today. You make my day today because I never get this kind of interview. Like, you run all my day back. You tell me so many history, and then I was very blow up. I didn't know that. I was just laugh. It just was, I want to thank you first, to run the tape back, talking about my life, about all this, what I achieved, what I didn't do, and then the message from the people from UK, I want to say for the people from UK, say again, I'm very pleased, because UK people, they always have the boxing. What I love about UK people, man, it's not bullshit, and then I always say, maybe I wasn't just very happy. I wasn't very happy, maybe I was supposed to be thinking to come live to UK to get all this big friends from the UK. Just my message from the UK people, I just say, my big friends from UK are just very happy, they love them boxing. It's not just about me, because I think UK, they love boxing, they love soccer, because I'm very big fan for soccer. And then for me, all the big fans for UK, I just again, thank you from your support, and thank you exactly for everything you do for, you write the best message for my Instagram, like Facebook, everything. I want to say thank you for all the fans for UK again. Say, I'm not retired yet. I will be back. I will win this fight, and maybe try to get against some other big fan maybe in UK if I have the chance. Maybe I know I have no chance. I'm very happy. The love will always be there with all the fans for UK. They love boxing. I'm very sure no one of them, they never forgot about Sakio Bika. Maybe the next generation, maybe this generation for this meantime, they never forgot about me. They will always say Sakio will always come to fight with it. It's a fight with the heart. And for me, I just have to say thank you again for the UK fans. I very appreciate them support. with one love.
Well said, Sakio. A great message there to end it. Like I say, anyone listening to me, next Wednesday on the Tim Tszyu undercard, you'll get to see that third fight between Sakio and Sam Soliman. But listen, Sakio, it's been an absolute honour speaking with you and walking down memory lane with you. Thank you so much for all your time. I wish you happiness and success in the future. I'm going to be tuning in next Wednesday. I hope you win the fight, and I hope we can speak again someday.
We can speak sometime. I will win the fight and we can speak sometime. Thank you again for having me. I really appreciate your interview again. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, now it's time for part 2 on this week's show. This part, of course, the news part of the show. We're going to start here with a fight that's been announced. It's going to be Savannah Marshall taking on Femke Hermans. That's going to be a defense there of Savannah's WBO middleweight world title. It's going to be on April the 10th, which is part of I think it's the Conor Benn and Vargas undercard. And the real reason for this fight, I think, is because Femke Hermans went the distance with Clarissa Shields, and I think that Savannah Marshall would probably like to try and get her out of there. So, yeah, that's that one. There has been a venue confirmed for Canelo against Billy Joe Saunders. It's going to be the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. I think a lot of us probably could guess that. A man that we're going to be speaking to on next week's show for sure, I think. I'm hoping anyway. I've been trying to schedule with him for quite a while now, but he's involved in this fight here. It's going to be Derek Chisora against Joseph Parker. May the 1st. Really good fight. In fact, it's a really good clash of styles. I'm hoping to get Parker on, like I say, next week. But Eddie, what do you think about that fight, man? Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora, May the 1st.
Oh, man. Like you said, it's a good style clash with the two. You know, Joseph Parker's, generally a decent boxer, pretty good boxer. Tries to, stay behind the jab in some ways and, counter punch. Good puncher as well. So, I mean, and, Derek, he's coming forward, try to bring the pain at all times and just staying in your face. So, with that, and honestly, watching Joseph Parker fighting some of the fights he's fought recently, namely the one with Anthony Joshua, having to be a little bit more aggressive to get, offense off, to get close, you know what I mean? It's been a little bit different. So this time he's going to have somebody that's coming at him the whole time. So now he's going to have to be able to box a bit, and he's going to have to make his punches count as well, because when Chisora gets inside, he's not coming inside to mess around or tickle you. He's coming inside to punch. So he's going to have to be busy, you know what I mean, either busy with his hands or busy on his feet. And he's going to also have to be, he's going to have to be forceful and authoritative with his punching power to keep the Chisora at bay. So it's going to be interesting. I want to see it, but I think Parker's probably going to obviously win this one. But, because, I don't know where Derek is at this point in his career. You know what I mean? He seems like he's obviously a little down from where he used to be, and, how he used to be able to fight and take punches and all that. But it's still interesting, and it's going to be an exciting fight too.
Absolutely, and it's one I'm really looking forward to as well. So hopefully we get Joe on the show next week. Elsewhere we have, this is a great one as well, great piece of news here. Joe Smith and Maxim Vlasov, we know that fight's rescheduled for April 10th. They're going to be showing it in the UK on Box Nation, so head over there to watch that on that channel there. I certainly will be. Charles Frankham, a guy that was signed to Matchroom, has now parted ways with Matchroom. He's now joined Frank Warren. So yeah, he was a really good amateur, I believe. He's 2-0 as a professional, but he hasn't boxed for quite a while, so that'd be interesting. Big news for him. In other news, the final piece that I have at the minute is that a fight has been announced between Tony Harrison, the former super welterweight world champion. He takes on Bryant Perella. That's going to be on April 17th in Los Angeles. All the best to Tony Harrison, friend of the show. Quite a decent undercard as well with a few names on there. But yeah, all the best to Tony Harrison in that one there. That is it for the news part of the show. Before we get on to the preview part, I'm just going to quickly come to you, Eddie, for this question that we have. This one's been sent in from Tuba TJ, long-time friend of the show, out there in Hawaii. He says, "Hey Joey, I don't know if you're still doing the trivia with Eddie." Yes, we are, and that's for anyone else listening. Send them in and see if you can test Eddie's boxing knowledge. He says, "Here's another heavyweight question as we hopefully head towards AJ versus Fury. No one has ever simultaneously held all 4 belts at heavyweight. Which 2 boxers have held all 4 belts but at different stages? So basically, you know, they might have won 2 belts at one point and then, I don't know, lost and then won the other 2, whatever. This shouldn't be that difficult.
Really? I mean, that's a good question because when you think, well, I mean, we know. Ooh, I got one. Well, no, because I don't think he's ever had the WBC. Because Vladimir, I don't think he's ever had the WBC. If I'm not mistaken.
He never had the WBC. Nope.
Yeah, so that's the one that I can't. Was it because Lennox had? Damn, did he have? I don't even know if he did either. Now that I think about it, I'm thinking, and Mike Tyson, I think, was because he had. Did he have all of them? But was that before the WBO really started?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, but I think he did have all 3 at one point. But I guess he didn't have that one, so I guess that doesn't
all 4.
Yeah, that made that. Then it can't be anything before the 90s. Can't be. You know what I mean?
You're right.
So I'm thinking Evander. Evander was. I think he had.
Nope.
I don't know.
Not Evander.
He didn't have every belt at one point. Like at least like one here, one there. Like that's what I was thinking. And Vitaly. Was it Vitaly? Because was he one of them? Because I know he had the BC at one point, but you know what? I don't think so because no, he might have.
No.
And had wait, hold on. Tyson's one.
Tyson Fury's one. If you didn't get that, I was gonna say, man, you're fired.
You know why? Because I wasn't thinking about it because I know he beat Vladimir. He believed Vladimir, and then I just realized, oh yeah, he beat Deontay, so he got all 4. He definitely had all 4. And I think Anthony Joshua.
No. When did he hold the WBC?
That's true. What the hell am I saying? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't hold the WBC ever. What am I thinking? Because that's what fucking Deontay Wilder had.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a big clue. This guy is American, and this guy is Lennox Lewis's era for sure.
Wait, okay, it was Lennox's era. I mean, obviously, he has to be one of the big names. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't Bo? It couldn't have been Bo. I don't remember Bo having. I know the only thing I remember Bo, about doing with the belts was putting one in the trash, but I don't think he had all of them. Who was it? Now you got me thinking, like, who the freak am I not remembering? That I'm not thinking. And you talk about heavyweight. How could I not know? Like in Lennox's era.
I think we got to give you an L, Eddie.
Why, man? Hold up, man. You gotta give me a chance, real quick.
I think you've had a chance.
Nah, man. I'm hold up. And had all the belts, not necessarily all at the same time. And it wasn't Lennox.
It was not Lennox.
I can't think of who else it could be. Lennox, Evander, Mike. But that wasn't at the time that he had it, so he didn't really. It wasn't Bo. Wait. Was it Michael Moore? No.
Nope.
Michael Moore. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't think right now. It was in the era of the 90s. I mean, because Lennox's era kind of stretched a little bit. His went into the early part of the 2000s too. So, I'm trying to think. Is it the 90s part or was it 2000s? And I can't think of anybody.
90s part.
Huh?
The 90s part.
That's what I figured. So now I'm thinking, like, who the freak was it? Who else? What? Were there? I'm drawing a blank. I don't know why.
Okay. Okay. Firstly, in the future, we're going to do it definitely to make it juicier. We're going to do a time limit for the answer.
But that's not for some of these hard ass questions like that.
Okay, so
this was hard.
You actually said the guy's name, but then said no, he didn't do it, but he actually did. So I said L.
Mike?
No, it wasn't Mike. I said it wasn't Mike, but I didn't say anything when you mentioned this guy's name.
Oh, Bo?
Yep. Bo beat Evander for the WBC, WBA, and IBF, and then he went on to lose in a rematch, and he gave the belts back. And then 3 fights later, he took on Herbie Hyde and beat him for the WBO.
Oh,
Yep.
come on. Oh man, I didn't think it was Bo because I didn't think it was Bo because I didn't realize they had that many freaking exchanges. And wait, Evander had all 3 at that time.
Yeah, Evander had all 3.
I didn't even realize he had all 3. See, at that time I wasn't looking at the belts. I wasn't thinking.
Evander fought for the WBO, but he lost.
Yeah. Oh, so he could have had.
He could have. Yeah, he had the chance. Yeah.
So it would have been 3 people that did it. But damn.
Lennox had 4, but he had the IBO. But I don't, a lot of people don't count that. But
right. But the IBO now is like it's gaining more and more ground every time. So yeah, all right, you got me. Damn, man, I got a back. Come on now.
Evander could have been that guy. He held all 3, and then he went on to fight for the WBO when he boxed Ibragimov in 2007, but he lost. So yeah.
Damn, that's why he fought Bragimov too. Jeez, he fought everybody.
Yeah, man, he really did. And do you know what? I said it earlier on Twitter this week. There's a guy that I found out about. He had a record. I told you this, Eddie, as well. He had a record of 20-39 with 1 draw. A guy called Everett Martin. He was known as Bigfoot. And this guy's resume, man, for anyone that didn't see my tweet on Twitter, this guy's resume is unbelievable. He boxed. Let's start with Burt Cooper. He beat Burt Cooper. He went on to box Dwight Mohammed Kawi. He went on to box George Foreman, UK's very own Gary Mason. He went on to box. What's the guy's name? Francesco Damiani, the Italian heavyweight. He went on to box James Bone Crusher Smith, Michael Mora, Riddick Bowe, Tim Witherspoon, Tony Tucker, Larry Holmes, Herbie Hyde, Tony Tubbs, Vladimir Klitschko. He went 8 rounds with Vladimir. He lost it on decision. Layman Brewster, Freza Quendo. He had a rematch with Vladimir and he got knocked out in the 8th round. He boxed Joe Hip. Luan Krasniki, Sergei Lyakovich, and Ruslan Shagayev. I mean, his career spanned from he turned pro in 1984 and retired in 2001. So 17-year career, and he boxed all those guys. Man, that is just crazy. But I hope he's doing okay. He was 5'11 and a half. He was a cruiserweight, really, but he just went up to heavyweight and boxed all these guys because at a point in his career, he was weighing around about 250, 260. So yeah, all the best to him wherever he is. If anyone knows where he is, let me know because it'd be good to get someone like that on the show. I'm sure he's got some stories to tell. Anyway, that is it for the news. That's it for Eddie's quiz question. Moving on, again, if you've got any other questions, please throw them our way. We'd love that. And going on now to the preview part of the show, we're going to start here with a card that's happening later today at the Plaza del Quinto Centenario in San Juan, Puerto Rico, over here. A lady that I really enjoy watching fight, Amanda Serrano, 39-1 with a draw. She's in search of win number 40. She takes on Daniela Bermudez over 10 2-minute rounds. Bermudez is 29-3 with 3 draws. It's for the WBC, WBO and vacant IBO female featherweight titles. Moving out now to the Copper Box Arena in Hackney Wick, London. Over here, David Adelaide, the undefeated heavyweight, 4-0. He's in a 6-rounder against Mladen Manev, who's 2-8. Sammy Maxwell, he's 14-0 in an 8-rounder against Ben Fields, who's 10-9 with 2 draws. Dennis McCann, 8-0 in an 8-rounder against Luis Moreno, who's 9-1. Brad Foster, 13-0 with 2 draws. He fights for the vacant IBF International Super Bantamweight title against Alvaro Rodriguez, who is 10-3 with a draw. A good fight here that I actually quite like. It's a weird one, and I like weird fights. Everyone knows that now. Zach Parker, friend of the show. I think he's ranked number 1 with the WBO at super middleweight. He's going to be mandatory for Billy Joe Saunders soon, but now Billy Joe's fighting Canelo. He might end up even fighting Canelo. Who knows? Zach Parker, 19-0, friend of the show. He fights for the vacant WBO International Super Middleweight title against Vaughan Alexander, the older brother of Devon Alexander. He's 15-4. That's over 10 rounds there. And the main event, Danny Ball, 9-0 with a draw. It's for the WBC International Silver Welterweight title. He puts his belt on the line against friend of the show, 11-0, Sam Gilly, who was on a couple weeks ago. All the best to Sam Gilly. That's over 10 rounds there. I really, really like that fight. And Frank is putting on 2 shows in 2 days because he's got the Friday and the Saturday. I'm going to get onto the Saturday. Right now, actually. Over here we have Nathan Gorman, 17-1 against former Huey Fury opponent Pavel Sauer, who's 13-3. We have Louis Lin, 8-0. He takes on Sebastian Perez, who's 12-1 with a draw for the vacant WBC International Silver Featherweight title, over 10 rounds there. And the main event, it's a really good fight. Willie Hutchinson, 13-0 against Lennox Clark, 19-1 with a draw. It's for the vacant Commonwealth and vacant British super middleweight titles. Both cards there for Frank Warren on the Friday and Saturday at the same venue. No, sorry, not the same venue. Oh no, yeah, the same venue. Yeah, of course, the Copper Box. I want Willie Hutchinson to win. He's a friend of the show, but I have to say, I've been chasing the hell out of him for an interview. We were supposed to do it, then it didn't end up happening. Then it's been hard to contact him since. And yeah, I have probably reached out about 7 times or something like that, and it's just not happening. So can't chase him any more than that. All the best to him. He's a friend of the show. I'll always support a friend of the show, but it's just kind of annoying, but you know, that's another story. Moving out now to the RCC Boxing Academy in Russia. Over here there's a fight between Evgeny Tishenko. He is 8-0. He fights for the WBC Silver Cruiserweight title against Tabiso Machuno, 22-5. I hope that Machuno loses, as always. That's what I say when he's around. Over 12 rounds. You heard what I said, right?
Yeah, I heard it.
I'm only messing. All the best to both men in that fight, of course. Moving out now to the Europa Point Sports Complex in Gibraltar. Over here, this is a brilliant one. Campbell Hatton, the son of Ricky Hatton, he makes his debut in Gibraltar. Amazing, groundbreaking stuff. On the undercard, Fabio Wardley, a man that is managed by Dillian White. He's on the undercard against Eric Molina. Really weird fight again. One that really kind of interests me. Eric Molina, 27-6 these days, but depending on what version of Eric Molina turns up, that could be a tough fight there for a prospect in Fabio Wardley. Yusuf Kamari, 11-0 with a draw. He takes on Kane Baker. He's always up for a fight, Kane Baker. He's 14-7. Eric Pfeiffer, 7-0. I think he's from the Netherlands. He was supposed to box Daniel Dubois, if I'm not mistaken. And that fight fell through. He takes on Nick Webb, who's 16-2. All the best to Nick Webb, friend of the show, good guy. The 3 main fights as well are all brilliant fights. Chris Congo, 12-0, takes on friend of the show, Michael McKinson, who's 19-0. All the best there to Michael McKinson. I hope he can do that one there. It's going to be a great fight. He's the underdog. It's for the WBO Global Welterweight title. Ted Cheeseman as well on the card, 16-2 with a draw. He fights for the vacant British Super Welterweight title against James Metcalf, who... is 21-0. He's been looking for a big opportunity for a long time. This is it, and he's actually the favourite to win as well, so that could be a really good fight. Ted Cheeseman very rarely disappoints, when it comes to action in his fights. And the main event, Alexander Povetkin, a man that you know very well, Eddie. This is his 40th pro fight, 36-2 with a draw. He takes on Dillian Whyte in the immediate rematch, 27-2. It's for the WBC Interim World Heavyweight title, over 12 rounds. Yeah, I think obviously the fight being delayed is a good thing, because I think when they initially tried to make the fight, I think it was for October originally, it just seemed way too soon. We all agreed on that. It's been pushed back. However, in that time, Povetkin contracted coronavirus. I hope he's not suffering from any after effects of that. But anyway, all that aside, who are you picking for this one here? I think I'm going to, weirdly enough, go with... I think the same prediction I had for the first fight. I think it's going to go to points, which made me look really silly the first time, because they both had each other down. But I thought it was going to go to points. I thought that Dillian Whyte would win by decision. I think it would be quite close. But this time I think they're going to be even more cautious. That Dillian Whyte has to be cautious now, surely. And I think, again, it's probably the worst, most unpopular prediction in the world, but I'm going with a Dillian Whyte points win, and I almost don't believe I'm saying it after the last fight.
Why not?
Because I don't know, man. Because I don't know. Look how that fight went. Povetkin was down twice. Dillian Whyte was down and out. It was over in, what was it, the third or the fourth or fifth round? Didn't even get to round, the halfway mark. We didn't even get past round 6, and I'm predicting points for 2 big punchers like those guys. But anyway, forget about my unexpertised opinion. Give me the expert opinion, a man that's been 12 with Alexander.
It's not a bad prediction. It's the same kind of prediction I had. I actually thought that, the only issue that I said would be a problem is that, Dillian, like I said, he's a little bit too locked out. You already know that. He fights a little high. So he's susceptible to certain shots. And, when you make mistakes like that against a guy with all that experience, that's what happens. So, yeah, there's always a chance of a knockout. And like you said, yeah, Povetkin got dropped twice and Dillian was down and out. But the way the fight was going, even then, even with the knockdowns, it still looked kind of like, Dillian was out, was kind of, I don't want to say completely outboxing him, because he really wasn't. I thought the fight was a lot closer than, what it was looked like, what the announcers were saying the night of. So I think that, Dillian should be able to come back and win the fight boxing, and you thinking it's a bad pick is not, because now they're obviously going to be Dillian's going to be a lot more cautious, which I think will drive the fight. Him being cautious, he's a big enough puncher with enough snap on his jab to keep Povetkin from just burrowing in and trying to just get those big shots off, trying to get close and all. I think he would still have to be a bit more cautious as he approaches the fight, as he approaches his offense. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, if Dillian can get behind his jab, bend his knees a little, and move around and keep from getting caught with anything big, he can win a boxing match. Not saying that he's a much better boxer than Povetkin. It's just that, with the way the size is, which, I mean, they're not that much differences. There's not that much of a difference in size. But Dillian being the younger, fresher guy, a snappier jab at this point in his career with a big enough right hand and big enough punching power to keep respect, he'll be able to outbox him. I really think that's not a bad pick. In fact, that was the pick that I was gonna say. I was gonna say maybe, if there's a way that Povetkin is gonna win, it's gonna be mid to late round, stoppage. He'll maybe catch him at the end or something like that, making another mistake. That's the only way I see Povetkin winning the fight. But with Dillian, as long as he boxes and stays safe and doesn't do anything unnecessary or make any unnecessary mistakes, he'll actually, I feel like he'll be able to box his way to a victory. You know what I mean? Be it by decision or late stoppage for him. But I just got to see him be able to move a little better, just a little better. I'm not saying he has to run around the ring or anything like that, and keep that jab snappy and stay behind it, careful, and see everything that's coming. And don't throw anything stupid late or unnecessary, and he won't get caught and stopped.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting fight. It's a fight that I think everyone's interested in because, the loser probably has to hang him up. I'm not saying Dillian Whyte would be totally done. I think he's still a top heavyweight, even if he loses. There's no shame in losing to Povetkin twice. But if he gets knocked out again like that, it could be career-ending. Safety comes into it. I think he could still beat a lot of the top guys, though. As for Povetkin, I don't think there's a way back in for him with his age. With his age the way it is. I think he's 40. I can't even remember how old he is now. 42 or something like that. 41. He's been in a lot of wars, and it was weird because I thought it was going to go the distance the first time round, and that was largely based off of Povetkin's performance against Michael Hunter. But weirdly, when he took those shots off of Dillian Whyte, it seemed like he just had no punch resistance. I couldn't believe the shots put him down, to be honest. But then, the power is the last thing that leaves you, and he's always had that power, that devastating power. That left hook is honestly the scariest thing probably in heavyweight boxing. That and Deontay Wilder's right hand got to be two of the most scariest punches coming at you. Imagine if you could actually make a fighter that had Povetkin's left hook and Wilder's right hand power. Boy, oh boy. But anyway, that's probably curtains for the loser. So it's a fight that garners a lot of interest from worldwide media, worldwide fans, and stuff like that. The winner goes on and gets a big fight. I hope Dillian can avenge it. He's a friend of the show. We had him on once before, about 5 years ago. But I'd like to see him win it. I don't want to be wanting Povetkin to win. I don't want the Russian to beat the Brit again. But we shall see. We shall see. It's definitely a fight you can't blink for, because if you did last time, if you blinked to that right moment there, then you'd have missed the fight-ending shot. Boom, one shot, good night. And I think it's just going to be quite a cautious approach from Dillian Whyte. It has to be. He can't be reckless. He learnt the hard way. And I think he's going to be quite focused. He's been sparring in Portugal with Masterneck, the cruiserweight. And I think he's going to be on his A game. We shall see. I really cannot wait for it. Honestly, it's a fight that really gets me excited. Moving out now to Pátzcuaro in Mexico. Just one fight card I want to let our listeners know about. If you decide you want to watch it, it's on Facebook at King Carlos Molina. His Facebook page, King Carlos Molina. On this card, there's I think about 8 or 9 fights, something like that. I'm not sure how many of them is going to get shown on Facebook, but you've got a few names in there, a few prospects coming through. Roy Jones Jr. has got a couple guys on the undercard as well. So that's for free on Facebook. Again, it's going to be on Roy Jones's page. It's going to be on, I think, the WBC's page. And King Carlos Molina has a page as well. Friend of the show, former 154 world champion. All the best to him. He's not fighting on this card, but he's promoting it, of course. And the final card to mention, it happens next Wednesday. So by the time we record the show next week, the fight would have already took place. So here we are previewing it. We'll review it next week. We've got top in the bill Tim Tszyu, the son of Costa Tszyu. He's 17-0. He's in a 10-rounder against Dennis Hogan. I like that fight a lot. Hogan is 28-3 with 1 draw. That's for the WBO Global Super Welterweight title. And on the undercard, we spoke to the man earlier on. I spoke to him for a long time there. Sakio Bika, 34-7 with 3 draws in a comeback fight against Sam Soliman, who's 47. He is 46-14 with a draw. It's over 8 rounds. This is the 3rd fight between the pair. Of course, if you listened to the interview and didn't skip through it, Sam Soliman won the first fight. Sakio Bika won the second fight as part of the Contender, the TV show, when he beat Sam Soliman in the semi-finals when he avenged that loss. So it was 1-1. And this is the 3rd fight. This is the rubber match, and I think it's about 13 years later. So here we are. May the best man win. All the best to Sakio Bika in that one. But that is it though for the preview part of the show. Just before we wrap everything up, that's all the talking done. I will come in with the outro in just a few seconds. Okay, and this wraps up episode 284 of the BoxHard Podcast. I've been your host, Joey Coastman. Eddie Chambers has been with me for the duration of the show. A massive thank you to our sole guest on this week's podcast, the former WBC Super-Middleweight World Champion, Sakio Bika. The biggest thanks of all, though, goes out to you, the listeners. If you're still listening now, myself and Eddie, we thank you very, very much for listening and tuning in every single week. That is about everything from myself, though. Remember to tell a friend about the podcast. If you've got a spare couple minutes, please leave us a review on iTunes. That's about everything though. Enjoy your weekends, people. Stay safe, and we shall see you all again next week.